Hello, everybody! Welcome to World Beyond the Witchlight, session 7. How are you all doing out there in Twitch land? Good to see you. Sorry about our internet issues earlier. We were starting up, and then but we got it back. All gravy. Thank you all so much for joining us for our latest edition of our Feywild chaotic story. Hello to all these lovely creators. Welcome back once again. Good to see you all. We are going to have yet another fun-filled couple hours here for you. And I really want to get in this quick because if any of y'all watched last session, we got a lot of things to get to off the bat. So, first off, you know them, you love them. They're Dicecream sponsors, everybody. We've got our Dice sponsors, Crit Kit, over in the UK. You love them. They are the best supplier of dice in the world, not just Europe. Is that a fact? It is to me. You can use promo code Dicecream15 for any set of dice and get 15% off your order. These sets are freaking dope, everybody. We got those sets still coming to our players any day now. I've been saying that for like 2 months. It's gonna happen. It's hard when you got dice coming over from Europe, from the UK, to get over to the States in these times that we're in. But Crit Kit's going to be opening a North America shop pretty soon, so that won't matter very, very shortly. But yes, Crit Kit, everybody, visit that site, look up your favorite dice, find some Witcher-themed dice that have been impossible to get, but they just restocked on those bad boys. So go over there, find them some dice for you, use a promo code, and have some good times. And also, second sponsor, of course, you know them, you love them, our favorite people, C4 Labs, everybody. Amazing dice tray sponsor that's making our own goddamn Dicecream products. Been sending trays to all of our players here at on the Dicecream stream. They got their own colors on the edges there. They have been having good times with those. And right now, we're doing a giveaway over on the Dicecream Instagram for a cool Valentine's Day promotion. And I have the tray here. It's kind of a little bit in pieces because it's so cool. But right now, we're giving away brand new for you heart-shaped dice box that C4 Labs has got going on right now. And you can't see it here because I got all my dice kind of displayed in it. But the inside of the dice box has its own sort of dice holder here that you could put inside and take it off. It's pretty awesome. It fits like right in the crevice here of the tray. And then you put the cover over top and bam, you've got a tray with your dice ready to go wherever the heck you go. It is fantastic. I love this design. Perfect for Valentine's Day if you want to give a cool gift to that special D&D nerd in your life, or just treat yourself because you deserve it. God damn it. But yeah, so we're giving away one of those on the Instagrams. If you want to look for that, I think the link will be in the chat over there. And we'll announce the winner next Monday on our Beyond the Realms D&D stream. So come check out that next Monday to see who got one of those. Or if you got the cash, you can go over to C4 Labs website and just buy it there. Lickety split. Comes in red and some other cool colors. So check that out. So thank you, C4 Labs. Thank you, Crit Kit, for supporting our wild, chaotic stories. Yes. Give them a little round of applause. But once again, before we get into tonight's tale, we do something we like to do every session on Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and that is get a little bit of a recap, a catch-up, if you will, from our last session, thanks to the lovely Jackie Leia Chan, who makes these amazing edited recap videos for y'all to enjoy, so you never are wondering what the heck's going on in this story. So without further ado, let's cut it over to Session 6 recap of Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Hit it, Jordy Rose!
Last time on Wild Beyond the Witchlight.
Passive perception is 14.
All of you feel this swift, and in one hand is Quincy's bag of holding. What do we have here then?
No, but you have something of mine, sir.
Well, it appears you have something of mine as well.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh my gosh.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Agdon Longscarf at your service.
We're eating rabbit tonight.
No, you're not.
I just want to kill this bunny. Let me kill this bunny. He has my bag. That is my bag.
We'll get your bag.
That is my bag, Evie.
We don't have to fight.
If he shoots it up, I'm like, no!
I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to stop this fight before this acorn drops. And if it hits the ground, then I'm getting involved.
I want to be angry, but I can't. I'm unconscious.
Evie, get involved!
Serves your right, you horned fucker!
I'm unconscious. I can't say anything.
Well, looks like you're 1 for 4, but I think your 1 is a lot more expensive than my 4!
I'm tired of this. There's no reason for this to happen. I'm getting
Floating
dirty
stuff.
right now, and I don't want to be dirty.
Plenty more where that came from, you stupid fuck!
I want to make eye contact with him. See that?
All right. A truce then, eh?
I like the sound of that.
I hate truces.
I propose this. You choose your finest fighter against me.
I want to take this bunny out. I think you should fight him.
Are you ready there, friend?
Yusuf pulls out his rapier, does one very quick little flare, has his shield on him. He's ready to go. D20?
I yield! I yield!
He realizes for this one individual herringgong, there is no turning around except for absolute judgment, and takes his rapier and stabs it straight through his chest. Walks up to Abby and doesn't try to put a hand on his shoulder or anything. He just says, I'm sorry that it didn't go the way that you wanted.
Abby stifles a lot of his emotion in that moment and stares at the ground, not looking at Lucifer.
And there you go, everyone. Now you're all caught up on the very fun and crazily dramatic ending to last session on Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So why don't we resolve said drama right here, right now. So everybody grab your favorite drinks, grab your favorite set of dice, and let us jump into the Feywild, everyone, for tonight's session of Wild Beyond the Witchlight. So, as we have just shown you, last we left off, Agdon Longscarf had proposed a duel of sorts in exchange for your party to gain passage to Downfall, and asked you to pick a champion. And through a lot of conversation back and forth, that champion was Lucifer. And if Lucifer would lose, you would have to give up 2 items each as payment to be able to go into Downfall. Agdon, of course, being the trickster Harengon that he was, employed tactics that you were not aware of, holding this branding iron with 3 rabbits on the end that, when hit, allowed him to go invisible, getting an insane advantage on the fight, and it did not look good for Lucifer. Many of the party were watching on the wings, being like, what are we going to do? We have to kill everybody? I think we have to kill everybody. I mean, we might have just had to run out of here. But Lucifer stayed headstrong, overcame the Harengon through sheer force of will. It was a very back and forth fight with lots of twists and turns, but at the end of the day, the Harengon was beaten on the ground at your mercy. And you even told Agdon Longscarf, you asked him, do you yield? And through a very intimidating speech to Agdon with fire in your eyes and ethereal wings flapping, he yielded. He shouted out in front of all of his Harengon gang, knowing his life was at risk, and shouted, I yield. I yield. And with the party thinking that that was going to be it, Ebby and Moss and Quincy looking on, thought this was going to be it, and you can finally move on to your next destination. But Lucy had other plans, and with the rapier at the chest of Agdon, struck him where he laid, drove the rapier straight through his sternum into the wood itself. Ebby looking on, shocked, almost horrified at this decision, and the air grew quiet and still, with the rest of the Harengon rabbit folk gang looking on in horror and shock as well, atop of a 30-foot wooden stump that was the home base of the location known as Brigand's Toll, Agdon's sort of home base hideout, a in-between that you had to get through to be able to get into Downfall, where Bavlorna you've been told is located, one of the 3 hags of the Hourglass Coven that has taken over Prismeer, this domain of the Feywild that possibly has their proper ruler Zilbilna captured somewhere. But this is where we find ourselves tonight. The rapier still bouncing up and down from Lucifer letting go. Agdon skewered and pinned to the bottom, or to the top of this large stump, and a crowd of people looking on. And as Lucifer turns around and starts walking over to your party members, you start to see rot starting to spread from where Lucifer had struck Agdon, and it's just slowly creeping from the center point, and like a disease, like vines, like weeds, like a virus, just spreading out ever so slowly, decaying the top part of the stump. So, with all of that said and done, what would you all like to do?
For clarity, is the rot stemming from Agdon's body, or is it stemming from the decision that was made? If that's something that if we can even figure it out.
Make an insight check.
Okay. Make sure you grab the right dice. 12.
12. So looking at this physical reaction to the moment, to the decision that was being made, you've been shown a few times now with your time here in Prismeer that emotions have a very physical reaction to the environment. Whether something very joyous has happened, or sad, or melancholy, there's been points of your adventure where you've seen the flowers change colors or decay, or certain wildlife be attracted to you or run away from you based on emotions and certain choices. And you have the feeling that this is very much similar to that. This moment is full of rot and indecision and drama and darkness, that it seemingly is, the stump is reacting to that decision, to that moment.
Roger that. So Lucifer, as he'd walked away from Agdon, had placed a very light hand on Ebby's shoulder, didn't even make eye contact with him, and just said, it had to be done. Hopefully they learn a lesson. And just walks past, knowing that Ebby was not in a place to, nor was Lucifer in a place to continue that conversation right now. And he just kind of took the heaviness with him.
I want to step forward. Just kind of look at the Harengon that are just there, still kind of stunned. What's done is done. Our fighter won. We do not wish to do anything more than already has been. Would one of you, if you please, show us the way to Downfall? And we will be swift to leave, which is what we wanted in the first place. But this is the way it went.
The Harengon are just kind of all shocked and just looking at each other.
I'll walk
It
up
looks
to,
like-
I'll walk up to Agdon's body and kind of look back. We could give it a proper burial before we leave.
I want his scarf.
Well, you'll
Can I
have
take
to
it
come-
off?
Is the curse removed once he's passed?
So looking at Agdon, the scarf still wrapped around the neck, sort of placed on the sort of to the left of him, strewn about. does not appear to be loose or fallen off in any way. It appears to be a curse that Zabilna had put onto Agdon, as he had mentioned earlier, and it doesn't appear to have loosened or fallen off in any way. It seems to be affixed to his neck.
Lucifer pauses, still very quiet, turns back, looks over Agdon's body, starts to walk back over to it with his kind of head low. And Agdon had a spear?
So he had a branding iron. So it was a thin, long metal rod with a red hot poker on the end that was kind of in the shape of a triangle that had 3 rabbits kind of intermingling at the top. Okay. Since you slayed him, that red hotness just glowed down, and that top part of the branding iron is just cold now.
Would that invisibility magic work for anyone else who used it, or is it only for Agdon?
You don't know.
Okay. So Lucifer walks back over to Agdon, glances up one time at all the other Harengon, and very solemnly says, he reaches down and grabs the branding iron, and he says, "This won't be used for evil doing again. Learn from this lesson. Do better, not based on what someone else tells you to do, but what is in your hearts to do. And do not get in our way." And with that, he walks back to the end of his group and just stays quiet. But he has the branding iron with him.
I will have you make a intimidation at advantage for saying that. And also, Quincy, make a persuasion check to try to convince them to show you the way to downfall.
So that's a 14 plus 6 for intimidation, so a 20.
So 12 plus 4, so 16.
16. So Harengon are just kind of disheveled. You get the sense that they've just been running rampant, unchecked, whether they realize the full breadth of their consequences from doing whatever they did, stealing trinkets and items from all walks of life that came through Prismeer and the Feywild as a whole. Kind of like naughty children that just like doing whatever they feel like, maybe bullying some kids, but never feeling the consequence of those actions until it all just comes down like a house of cards. And for the first time, the Harengon are like realizing they're mortal in a way. And they're all just kind of sullen, sunken. And those 2 responses come out from Quincy and from Lucy. And as soon as Quincy asks them to go to downfall, they're all just kind of looking at each other like, I don't know, is this... Like, a lot of them reaffirming, like, do we do this? Like, we don't have a leader, basically, anymore. Then Lucy kind of comes up behind you and gives that speech, and they're just like, oh, fuck, we don't want to be rabbit stew next. And just look at each other like, yes. One of them just kind of, like, nudges one of the Harengon just to, like, go forward and say something. One of the sort of lower-level followers, and just goes, yes,
Your name?
Lithania.
Lithania. You will guide us to downfall.
I will lead you there by boat through the mists, and you can take your leave from there.
Thank you.
Lucifer looks at the other ones and says, "Lithania will not be harmed and will be returned safely to you." And then
I want to take kind of a moment to wrap Agdon in his scarf to kind of like cover his face with it, and just kind of like, since it is a part of him, but it's like, no, we're not. I want to take it too, but it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to take a couple moments and kind of just wrap him up and kind of just make him look like mummified however long the scarf was, but kind of wrap him up and cover his face.
Seeing Quincy do that, a twitch of a smile does perk out of Ebby's cheek, but so he walks over to the side of it and reaches into both his pockets, his left hand pulling out the voodoo doll he carried with him and the silver string that was attached with it. The face of the voodoo doll still had the smile face that he had on it, but then he just took his thumb and rubbed off the face and placed it beside the Harengon and the string besides, and just under his breast said, "And there's my 2." And then he walked away and went over to the pile that was just around the throne that had all of the stuff that was there, and he starts inspecting it to see what was there.
Okay. Make me an investigation check.
Let me know when we're gonna leave because I want to do something before we leave.
Well, I got a natural 20, so plus 2.
Oh, okay. So, okay, Abby. Okay. Well, can you roll? Actually, here. Let's see. Can you roll me D100 3 times? So you're going to take...
This one that has lots of 20s and stuff on it?
Yeah, so the 2 sort of diamond-shaped ones here, one is single digits, one is double digits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so roll 2 of those. The double digit will determine the Roman sort of numeral, and the single digit will determine the second number. So say if you rolled an 80 on one and a 6 on the other, it'd be 86.
54.
Okay, so do that 2 more times. So we got 54.
53.
Okay.
33.
33. So yeah, so as described last session, there was this sort of makeshift wooden throne that had a lot of trinkets and just stuff sort of piled up around it, kind of like a mound from all the stuff, all the things that the Harengon had taken off of Danzians of the Feywild and beyond. And you just start rummaging through it, and you find it's just a lot of trinkets at first, like a lot of little things. And they're kind of, some of them are just a little bit worthless, but you go through and you do see a couple things that stand out. One of them being a smoking pipe made from a tree root. You also find a red cap that droops down to one's shoulders when worn. And you also find a pumpkin cupcake that seems to, after you take the pumpkin cupcake, you kind of reach in with your hand through piles of just trash, really. Like some of it's broken and some of it's a bit worn down, but it's just like trinkets after trinkets after trinkets. Like you look through this thing all day if you want to. But you find this pumpkin cupcake that you kind of reach your hand in, you kind of smush it from the wrapping at first. You go, oh, you just kind of wipe it off your feathers, and then you see the cupcake in the foil just sort of regenerate itself. Oh, I think you're muted.
Evie, I was sorry. Evie was taken back by that moment, and then his curiosity overwhelmed him, and he just instantly yelled for Quincy's name for Quincy to come over.
What? And I'm not expecting everybody to yell, especially at a moment like this. What?
I found food.
Good. Okay.
But it grew.
I'll look at that in a moment, okay?
Okay. He goes back to just looking at it. He kind of squeezes it again just to try and see what will happen.
You sort of crush it again?
No, it's just lightly, kind of like very delicately unsure what's going to happen. Just like little dents, but nothing that would harm it. But like,
yeah. So you kind of like just press on it a little bit, and the outside of the pumpkin cupcake kind of a little bit smushed, and then you let go of it and just.
He takes a little bit of a piece from the top on a corner and pulls it off. There's more food. He's getting a little bit overwhelmed, and I don't know.
So as Abby keeps crushing this cupcake and watching it reform, did you want to keep looking? Like, there's just a mountain of trinkets.
Yeah,
here.
he's going through it. Like, he wants to find everything he can.
Roll another investigation check. The other 3 of you, what would you like to do? The Harengon again are just kind of like just a bit sad that their leader has passed away. You do notice that there are a couple other tents situated on top of this large stump. And there was kind of like there seemed to be a couple little tents for more of the gang members, and then a larger tent where Agdon probably slept. So if you wanted to explore those tents, try to look for things, talk to the Harengon, talk to each other, completely up to you.
Moss said something that they wanted to do, but I didn't know when they wanted it to do it.
Jackie wanted us to know when we were leaving, I think. That was their cue.
Okay. Well, after I finish with Agdon, I want to motion for... What's the bunny's name that's going to be taking us?
Lethania.
Lethanier. I kind of look at Lethania and wave him to come over.
And just kind of sullen, just looking down at the body of Agdon wrapped in the blue scarf. The dark wood starting to like spread a bit more on the clean cut, sort of lighter wood finish. Yes.
How far away is Downfall from here?
It's not that far. You take one of the skiffs down there and follow along the river over there and take it through the mists. Burn like 25 minutes or so, and the bog water will get higher, and that means you're into Downfall.
All right. Well, after that, you obviously will take your leave, but what are you going to do after this? I know that's a really personal question right now, but I'm curious.
Probably have to report to Bavlorna, find out what she would instruct us to do next.
Would it... Now, this is where we have a conflict of interest.
Does Lucifer overhear this?
Quincy, are you doing this a bit stealthily, like silently?
I'm not really doing it stealthily, but I feel like if I'm by Agdon and he's by me with Agdon, then like everyone's kind of looking at us too. So I assume they're looking at us, but I'm not... and also half hearing, so it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's up to you. When doing conversations like this, if you want to make that choice to try to make it a little private, and if someone's kind of nearby and trying to hear it, you could do a stealth versus perception check to see if they can hear your conversation. But if it's not a big deal, then you can just let them.
It's not a big deal.
There you go. So yeah, Lucifer, you kind of are hearing this conversation happening.
Lucifer just glances up to listen to what Quincy has to say, and he has something that he'd say if depending on how the conversation goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to ask that you say nothing to Bavlorna. Now, that is completely up to you. That is your choice, but also the consequences will be yours as well. You've seen what we can do here. You've seen what my friend can do here. We don't want this. And I point to the rot that is happening and spreading. This is not just our fault. It takes two to make a choice. Now, I will ask you, I don't know if you're in charge here, but you seem to be the one brave enough to step forward or take the responsibility afterwards. If Bavlorna knows we're coming, the stump will no longer be here when we get back. But I'd ask you to find your own way after this. Now that your master or your hero, your leader, Agdon, is no longer here, you're free to write your own story. Now, whatever the story happens, and if our paths cross again, I hope it's on a better side. But I ask you now, if you talk to Bavlorna now, and you let her know that we're on our way, it will not be good.
Make intimidation at an advantage for that statement.
Not 20.
Oh, son of a... Wow, I got a 19. But good job on that. Woo! Jesus, I should have put the camera to that. That would have been really dramatic. I was just stunned. So you say those words, and there is a mixture of emotion going on from Lethania looking at you. The rabbit ears kind of curled down in this sort of beaten, slumped down demeanor. And as you're kind of giving them orders necessarily, like telling them what's what, there's this desire to be defiant and to rebellious, as that's what Agdon's just the modus operandi. They've lived their lives up to this point. But that confidence is like stunted by looking at Agdon and seeing like, look where that confidence got them. And then looking up at you. What would we do then?
Make your own way. We're here to set things right here. And Bavlorna is unfortunately in our way. You don't want to be with that.
Maybe you could apologize to those who you harmed. Arclight, Jingle Jangle. There are many whom you hurt under the leadership of Longscarf. Has that not crossed your mind that making a new way for yourself would mean making atonement with those who you harmed?
Lucifer takes a breath and he says, and if you feel you all do not have the power or the ability to write your own story, if it is something that you would genuinely want, it's something that we're willing to help you with. If not, that is your choice.
Moss, make a persuasion at advantage. Why does he be at advantage? Because their leader's literally stabbed on a log.
I rolled a 12, by the way.
12, yeah. I'll get to you in just 1 second.
Yeah.
That's a 17.
17, looking at you and saying those words, and you can see the cog start to kind of move in Lathanier's mind, and Lucifer coming up behind you, sort of backing you up, supporting that statement. We need some... yes, we could definitely return the things that we have stolen. We would need some sort of transport, though. We have these skiffs, but they're only really good on this side of the swamp. We'd need something sturdier to help us along.
You are not taking Bubba from me.
Moss.
Bubba? What's a Bubba?
Lucifer looks over to Moss. Was the innkeeper one of the people that they harmed? Never mind.
It's a step. It's a step.
Fine.
We can make sure you
Look at it this way. If Bubba's harmed, we're gonna eat some rabbit stew.
As one of the couple Harengon kind of come up to Lathander and be like, I don't know about you, but I really don't want to end up this way. I just kind of went along with Agdon because he was just really cool. He seemed to know what he was doing. But I don't want to be skewed to a stump. Just put that out there. And just like shuffles back into the crowd. Lathander is just like, right.
All right.
We can do better, I think. Does anyone else around here object to giving the things back? And the Harengon all just kind of look at each other and well, maybe. And then you look over to Ebby, who's just
Abby,
going through all of the trinkets. So Abby with the 12, roll another D100.
Wait, is that the right one? Yeah.
Moss desperately wants to join him, but she's trying to act so solemn right now.
It fell out. Should I re-roll it?
Yes.
Okay. 60.
60. All right. So again, just sifting through piles and piles of some of it junk, some of it interesting. You're just kind of waiting for something to kind of catch your eye, and you wind up getting your hands on a doll, a stuffed Oni doll. That's kind of like a very particular demon, blue-skinned demon-looking creature that has a bit of a creepy smile and is missing one eye.
I just want to make sure I type that down.
And at this point, everyone's just kind of looking at you as this conversation is starting to take hold of like maybe giving the trinkets back. You've just started to put a pile of things that you like from the trinket pile, like one for Evie, one for that. Shit, no, don't worry about that. And just keep piles swimming through.
So Abby kind of slows down after hearing it going a bit quiet around him, and he just turns around, kind of a bit perplexed, and then just looks at the pile beneath his feet, the pile that he has separated, and it's like, that cupcake grew. And holds up the doll. He just sets it down and just like stands there. It's like, okay,
All right, we're gonna get ready to go
why?
because we have something to do. And
Just
this
quick question.
Go ahead.
Lucifer always just assumes that he has money, but do we know how much he has? Because I want to do something, but I can't just assume that I have, unlimited resources.
So you don't seem to see any gold on Agdon themselves. They seem to be much more interested in taking things of personal value rather than just gold. Like you've seen them carry a gourd that steals like the best memories from people. Trinkets is piled around this wooden throne that could have special significance to the original owners. So gold doesn't seem to be like their main thing. There are a few tents lying around this top part of the stump that you have not yet like gone on and checked out, but not seeing any gold so far.
Okay. Lucifer turns inquisitively real quick and says, why is it that you take trinkets that mean so much to others and not yourself? What is the importance to you? It's just like one curiosity that bursts out of him, asking all the Herringgong.
And again, Lethanier's someone just nudges him again, just the forced speaker for the group at this point. It's what the Hourglass Coven demands.
Do you want to be ordered around by someone else, or do you like to have your own story, your own chapter written? Because it seems like there's a part of you all that are used to it, but don't want it to continue to be that way.
Well, since they took over for Zybilna, they kind of reinstated their own rules of sorts, and some paid the price for these changes of rules, and some were able to flourish. And I guess for us, we were just kind of allowed to roam free and do what we want, but I mean, it'd be nice to do what we want to do for a change.
Did you have that?
Yeah, how about that?
Did you have that when Zybilna was predominant?
No.
What?
Zybilna was not fond of Agdon, and as you had heard earlier, punished him for his misdeeds, stuck him to a tree with a cursed scarf, and let him just hang there for a very long time. And he was... that can make someone a bit bitter, I guess.
Well, then let us hope that what you want now is different than what you wanted then.
Zybilna was also somebody who's a fair ruler, but sometimes could be pretty strict. She had her own rules of conduct that she had implemented throughout all of this Prismere domain.
Were people happy?
Most of them were, yes. I guess for us, we would.
Was it because Abby purposely interrupts the speaker, and so was it because you weren't doing things that were morally just?
I mean,
were you saying that each time someone wasn't happy was because everyone's acting on a negative impulse? Only the people who were doing things that were decent were happy? So do you possibly see how perhaps your own choices were your own issue?
Those were a lot of big words. Agdon made us feel like we could take our power back. We felt Zybilna was an okay ruler, but she could be also very harsh, and it just felt good to be our own people and do what we wanted, I guess. Agdon.
Nothing stops you from being your own person. It's just actions have consequences. Freedom's always there if you're able to obtain it, but not in a way that hurts others.
Lucifer turns to them and says, if you make the change that you want to, and you want to have your own power, it can be a positive power. We do not want bloodshed, no one does. It's very clear that this land responds to good and not gray areas of whether it's good or bad or not. And then he looks down to his, to the iron that's kind of small in his hand. And he says, if you all swear to us to do better, we will continue and complete our mission, and we will make sure things are different for everyone, not just select groups. Now, since you all are so into personal trinkets, and this one is very personal to your leader, I'm offering to make you all a trade. Your best bow and arrow, or crossbow, for this. He really wants that bow and arrow still.
I know. Okay, so first make a persuasion check again at advantage. With Ebby and everyone kind of coaxing this along.
Oh, Abby's completely out of this decision since it's involving Lucifer.
22.
18, Jesus.
My persuasion is also +6, so.
I know. I'm just like scarily getting really close to your rolls. You're like 22. I'm like, oh, I'll probably fail. 18. Jesus, I was actually close. So, Ebby, trying to impart a little bit of wisdom onto the Herringong, trying to make them see the error of their ways. Lucy coming up behind Ebby and sort of backing up those statements, but also trying to implement a sort of trade as well. Nathaniel kind of looks at you and goes, oh, it's not like it wasn't that cut and dry, all right? Zabilna, she was a fair ruler, but her rules, she was just so strict. She had these 3 rules, and just like looks at the Herringong, and they were kind of like nodding at him like, yeah, it was a little bit weird. She had these 3 rules that if anyone disobeyed them, they would disappear without a trace. And, you know, there were the 3 rules: the rule of hospitality, the rule of ownership, the rule of reciprocity. If anyone stole from anyone, no matter what it was, to take something that doesn't belong to you without the rightful owner's permission is a crime, an unforgivable breach of etiquette. And, you know, we all we have are each other. And sometimes things would get out of hand, and we'd play a little prank, or we saw something we liked and we didn't live by very great means. And Agdon was someone who pulled us up out of the muck and helped us make something of ourselves. And when Zabilna was gone and the hags started to take over and the Hourglass Coven came into power, they were less harsh on those circumstances. They strongly believed in hospitality and reciprocity, but they had self-centered views on ownership. They each kind of see ownership in a different way, but they were far less inclined to punish those who broke Zabilna's rules and allowed us to live the life that we wanted. But clearly, if this is the outcome, maybe we had it all wrong.
Oh, that's part of it. But I'm very curious about all this. When we get to Zabilna, I kind of want a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for letting us know, Nathaniel.
Welcome. We would very much like to keep that brand as a token of our former leader.
Have a bow, and I'll kind of whisper to him, do you have a bow and arrow? He's really wanted one, and we'll give it to you. It's just, do you have a bow and arrow?
This coin is not what you want, item.
So Lucy, earlier with that statement with the 22, Leviathan just looked at them and goes, Well, he's not gonna need it anymore. One moment. Just kind of shuffles off to the longer, roomier tent that you had supposed Agdon probably slept in. Goes beneath the flaps, kind of rustles around, a few things kind of hitting together, making room for other things. Like you hear the opening of a chest. And you see Leviathan comes out of the tent. And he's holding what at first looks like a long blade, a long curved blade with a guard that kind of squiggles down almost like an S shape, like kind of curves at one point and sort of curves down, slinks down, and curves at the end with this long, almost like, you know, Lord of the Rings, the elves have those like long handled, long sabers. Kind of looks like that. And you're expecting a bow, and he comes out with this. This was something that Agdon had recently won in a duel. I was very anxious to try it out, but in the act of doing the right thing, should belong to you, I guess. As he hands it over to you, you see him click a button, and the blade goes and another blade comes out that extends it to a bow-like shape, with a long blade curving at the end, with a long handle, and a blade curving at the other end, and this ethereal bowstring just connects to the end.
I'll kind of nudge. I want to look at a herringog near me. I'm like, got another one of those?
Abby
Nope.
automatically just like walks into the tent, just ignoring.
He's gonna go look.
Abby is really mad at what you're doing right now.
Lucifer gladly hands over the branding knife and takes the bow and says nothing actually, because he doesn't know what to say besides.
He loves it.
So, Lucifer, as you take the bow and you start to kind of handle it, and you're kind of getting a feel for it, kind of swaying it around, getting used for its double-bladed attributes. So this is what is a fun little item that I got from the Scrying Eye on Instagram. Awesome D&D creator that makes amazing homebrewed items. This is known as the Bladed Longbow. So it is, for all intents and purposes, a normal longbow. You can add the normal longbow to your inventory, but it has a fun feature, which is that this is made from strong but highly flexible metal. The body of the bow has been sharpened to be a razor's edge. The bladed longbow acts as a regular longbow, but in addition, it is a two-handed bow, meaning when you use the bow, you have to make sure two hands are free. You can't have a weapon in one hand and use it. Two-handed weapon. But at the same time, it acts as a regular longbow, but in addition, it can also be wielded as a two-handed sword. When the weapon is being used as a sword, the weapon deals 2d4 slashing damage.
Wait. Can you repeat that last bit?
I will send you this in Discord.
Thank you so
as
much.
Well. But basically, the bow's damage modifier, like the roll to hit, is still the same. But if you wanted to use it in close melee combat, and if you roll and you hit, you would just roll 2d4 basically for damage, and add your proficiency bonus, I think.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problemo. Okay, and then Ebby, going into Agdon's tent. Are you just kind of going in there just in a huff just to kind of get away from this situation, just get some
A little
space?
bit, yeah, a little bit, but also he does have a slight curiosity about what was inside there.
Okay. Make investigation check. Moss, was there anything Moss wanted to do in this time as well? Or are you just kind of waiting for everyone to leave?
Do we agree to give them Bubba?
That's not been said. They just said they would, if they were going to give the trinkets back to their original people, it'd be helpful if they had some sort of transport, but nothing was said.
And
Boss.
Go ahead, Abby.
10. I rolled 10.
10. So the inside of Agdon's tent is not like crazy extravagant. There is a small makeshift bed in the corner with a bunch of skin furs and feather down pillows and things like that. There's a tiny little chest kind of in the corner that's kind of open where the bow was taken from. Over there you see more trinkets and a couple of clubs and slings and light crossbows that you've seen much of the Harengon kind of have and were using against you in the coming battle. But that's about it. There's like a little desk and a little parchment and writing paper that are used to send messages probably to the Hourglass Coven or Bavlorna or something like that. There is a little leather pouch kind of down beside the chest as well. But that's about it.
So after doing the quick investigation, he just sighs pretty deeply. But then he glances over to the chest and walks over and wants to just investigate and just look inside and just see what's going on in there.
All right. Make another investigation check.
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this chest, you see, you find a dagger, and a lot of the weapons that the Harengon were using during your battle. You see a club, a sling, you find a light crossbow, and there's again a lot of just random trinkets in the chest, maybe ones that Agdon themselves had either found or just thought they were really neat for them, maybe ones that they were procuring from the pile to give to Bavlorna as a gift. But through that, you kind of find one that kind of sticks out to you, and it's a piece of parchment bearing a child's drawing of yet another Oni, similar to the Oni that you had picked up as a doll.
He
could be
looks
from the same person that they probably stole it from.
Can he do an Arcana check on these objects?
No need. They're not
Okay.
magical really in any way. They're just personal belongings to people that they've stolen them from.
So these trinkets were from the chest and not the same trinkets that were in another location in the tent, right?
Correct. This was just the ones that were in that chest personally.
Okay. Abby walks with the things and just pokes his head outside the tent and is just like calls to one of the Harengon. Does anyone know anything that's in here that can just answer a few questions for me?
Nathaniel again, just looking at everyone. Everyone's just kind of silent. Yeah, I guess that's me.
Okay. Would you mind coming in here just so I can ask you about these things?
Just kind of looks at Agdon on the ground. Sure. Just slowly going towards you. All the hair going on the outside of the stump, just like head down.
Mm-hmm.
As Nathaniel just starts to walk over to the tent.
Yeah. Is he in the tent with me now then?
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Abby first starts saying, you have nothing to fear from me, if you are in any sense. But I do question as to why I found a picture of this and a doll very similar to outside. Do you have any explanations on that?
There was a family roaming down in hither, a couple little ones on them, and as far as possessions go, and he's kind of looking down at his feet like, I don't want to tell you, but seeing the circumstances is just like, well, shit, there's nothing else we can do. The love and enjoyment that a child has for the things is some of the most palpable around, and is ones that the hags particularly enjoy. cultivating.
Children
I don't-
must love.
Correct. I don't know if you've ever lost anything when you were a kid.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would assume I probably did. Abby is just kind of still keeping himself to not reveal too much about his own. But Abby takes a parchment and he rolls it up and he hands it over. And it's just like, if you make sure you give this back to that family and that doll outside.
All right. They were in the Witchlight Carnival just recently. Might be able to get back there. And
Do you know how to get back there?
the hags usually help us with that. Don't actually have a way ourselves.
Do you recall how they go about doing it?
Not really. If any of the Hourglass Coven wants to send us there for retrieval of trinkets, memories, anything they want, really. Agdon comes back to Brigand's Toll and selects a few of us. They'll be gone for a while, and then they come back.
Have you ever gone?
No, I've never gone myself.
Abby thinks to himself and then just points over the other objects that are in here. Everything in here was taken from someone. It is, as you said, nothing was earned.
Some things may have been gambled away, or deals may have been struck. It's once you kind of do one thing the one way, it can get kind of boring. So
Yeah.
you find ways to
Have
trick
fun.
them, or to like get it from them. You see like Nathaniel like kind of getting like old memories of tricking people of their things and stuff. Like starts to make them feel very good, and then remembering the current situation is like.
Abby had that quirk of a smile appear back, seeing that there is joy inside of him, and he says, "Well, what out of everything in this tent, what is most important? Do you feel?"
Oh, I mean, his scarf, really.
The scarf's outside.
That was important to him.
But in this tent.
Well, I know he really enjoyed that thing over there quite a lot. And he kind of points over to this conch on the ground next to the bed.
Mm-hmm.
There's an opalescent conch shell. And they pick it up. He'd always put this to an ear and have a good chuckle when he felt down. It's one of the more favorite items he had, I guess.
May I see it?
Sure.
Abby takes it and it's just to his ear. That's all they do.
Pardon me?
And he just puts it to his ear. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Abby looks at it, turns it over, and then puts it up to his ear.
On and on and on. It's just like a cacophony of laughter coming from the conch into your ear. All various tempos, sounds, hypes, pitches, all of it.
And he holds it back away from his ear, a little startled, and is like, "This just reminds me of that swamp I went through. Oh my gosh." Why is it laughing?
I don't know. It's the Feywild. Some things just do things. Maybe that's why he was so interested in the trinkets of others. We'd often go back and forth around campfires and come up with our own stories of where they came from or how they became to be.
Abby holds it in his hand as he walks around the room, and he stops near the desk where the parchment was and looks down at it and then recalls something that Nathaniel said. Is like, how did they get in contact for him for telling him where to do or where to go? Is anything here?
Usually, if Agdon had a meeting with Bavlona, just take one of the skiffs with a couple of us and head over to their cottage.
And where exactly is their cottage?
It's in Downfall.
Just down in Downfall.
Yes.
Okay. Abby looks around the tent, and I want you to one more last inspections to see if there's anything that can catch his eye before he leaves to go out with the rest of the group. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 13.
13. Yeah, you take one look around. Aside from like the makeshift bed, the sort of writing desk, the chest, the little leather pouch that was beside the chest, and that conch, there's nothing really else of note.
No, I feel like I should check the leather pouch. Oh my gosh.
Do it.
Okay, I'm doing it. Evie walks over to the chest one more time and just looks at the pouch and just reaches to inspect it and see what's inside.
And you go and pick up the pouch. Open it up. 15 gold.
Cool. Evie was like, well, this is shiny. So and then just holds it and he doesn't to him, because he doesn't understand coins and stuff, he thinks like for some reason this is like a lot of money. And so he just is like, this pouch, it's cool. And then he just takes it and he just like walks out. He's like, I'm good to
Before
go.
you're kind of walking out and Nathaniel's in there like, see, taking things is fun.
I don't want it.
Oh. Do you want to give it back?
Do you know who who it belongs to?
I'm sure somebody here does.
Oh, okay, then I'll ask him when I go outside.
Oh, okay.
Abby leaves with his arms still kind of like full of the things that he found from there, and holds the tent door open for Nathaniel to leave first. And then once they leave, he goes back over to the pile and just places things down. It's like, well, I found all these inside. He looks at everyone and says, I found all these things inside. And if you want to look at them, feel free. There's still that food that grows I don't understand. And there's money.
Well, I think they were going to go give it all back.
Good.
And they said they needed a way to transport it all. So, I know.
Wow.
I say we give him Bubba.
Lucifer looks around at everyone because he's like, he cares for Bubba, but he's never really.
You got a new toy.
You're right.
I got a metal bow. I don't care about anything else.
Abby's head just drops at that because he is slowly just becoming very unsure of things, and just doesn't say anything.
I don't think Bubba is going to be useful for us where we're going, especially if we're going into Downfall. And who knows what happens after that if we're confronting Bavlorna. Bubba might be either put in harm's way or he might be the cause of something that we can't control.
I understand.
I think we give them Bubba. He gives them a place to start. They start amending themselves at the inn at the end of the road.
But what if Bubba doesn't want to?
I'm sure Bubba will be okay.
At this moment, I look off the edge of the giant stump and I look into the swamp. And I know one of the many reasons why we didn't bring Bubba in the first place was because he couldn't tread through there. And then I look off in the distance and I see that the swamp continues on for who knows how long until we reach Downfall. I know that we have to give them Bubba. So, with pain in my heart, I yell, okay, Lethania will be taking us to Downfall. Who here is volunteering to make amends to those whom they've hurt in the past? Who is taking Bubba?
And all the hands just kind of like, they all just go up at once.
Someone volunteer leader. 3, 2, 1.
They all just push another Harengon. One whose one ear is kind of shorter, like almost like it was cut off in a fight, and is the one just like flopping sort of backwards and forwards. A few scars on their face, bit of disheveled dirt from the swamp all over their outfit. They kind of their rabbit legs just cut forwards, a lot smaller than the others. And I will, I guess.
Stop, you're gonna make me like him. Anyway, still solemn. I walk up to him and I am a 6 foot tall tabaxi. I'm looking down at this Harengon. What's your name?
My name is Nat.
Nat?
Yeah.
Probably
Hey,
said Nat.
Nat. You are going to take care of Bubba. You are going to treat him well, and you are going to make amends to everyone you've hurt. And at that point, Moss takes off her booby wings and shoves them in his face. This is a sign from the Monarch 4. You let Arclight and Jingle Jangle know that we sent you to make amends. You will return what you stole and keep Bubba out of harm's way. You understand me?
Yes.
Bubba's a giant snail at the end of the road.
Oh, thank God, thank you. I didn't know what he was talking about.
It's okay, you're doing fine.
And make sure damn well to wear those on your chest, damn it. They're booby wings. I
Oh,
want to
God.
put them on right now.
I don't have boobies. Fine.
Perfect. Bubba
it's a
will
sign
know it's
forever.
okay. And then I like quickly turn around and I like start like crying, but I'm just like
Make intimidation at advantage again.
Fantastic. We love it.
Oh my goodness. That's a 19.
Nice.
Got a 15. Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Advantage
He's
is
close
awful.
tonight.
So yeah, you are just laying down the law in this sort of shorter, raggedy Harengon with like tufts of fur that are like ripped out of the skin. It's just like, yes, ma'am. I will do. Bubba says here. I will be the defender of Bubba, and I will go to Arclight and jingle schmangle dangle, and no harm will come on to Bubba while I'm around.
Close enough.
Good. You do that.
Lucifer is stifling his laughter in the back, just loving what's going on.
This rabbit is
be
just
tough
like
with his
really
team,
like scared confused, like a combination of scared fused, just like I'm just saying things so you don't kill me and I'll do whatever you say. Just I don't want to be stabbed to the stump either.
Moss goes up. I go over to the edge. I have my hands on the side.
Just shaking.
A mental breakdown.
Just like kneading the wood with your cat claws.
I think Lucifer has Fluffy at this moment. He's like, Lucifer, please toss it. Please toss it somewhere. I gotta chase something right now.
And Lucifer just like looks at Fluffy and goes,
Throws it.
This spool of red yarn just falls down and
he just
rolls
confuses himself.
along
Like he's never
the...
made a cat noise at Moss before. He's like, what am I doing?
Moss immediately forgets and just like goes, and then just like goes after Fluffy.
All right.
Are we
with
ready
all
to
that-
go now?
Yes. Lucifer
right.
leans over to Quincy and goes, you had mentioned something about a burial. Is that still on the cards, or
I
do
think
we?
we should get moving.
Yeah. So Lucifer still in the back of his mind is processing, but he does walk up and carefully pull the rapier out, cleans it, and puts it away.
And by this point, though, sort of darkened rot from the wood has like spread quite a bit. Like it's like 2/3 covering the crafted flat ground of the large stump that you're standing on. and there's just like a wet cedar smell, like kind of protruding the air now, and like there's the smell of the bog and the swamp below you as well, sort of gaseous nature, but like you're just seeing this sort of sickness just spread, and just like the tendrils and veins of this spread just getting thinner and more spindly as it's crawling out, kind of like the upside down spreading across into the material plane.
All right, Nathaniel, you ready?
Yeah.
All right,
I can take you there now if you like.
let's go.
Okay. I really don't want to die. But why?
Just hangs down near his ear and is like, behave and you won't.
All right. So one by one, start going down the rope ladder.
Sure.
Ebby following as well.
Abby wants to speak to the rest of the Harangon before, as a last person up there or whatever.
Mm-hmm. The three of them kind of go down first, and you're the last one.
He turns back to them and just like judges their body language and their face, and just like, you lost someone who is close to you, but don't fear the loss. Remember the joy if he brought you any. Each moment that's here, as much as this one may be a dark scar, there's still lots of happiness and laughter around each and every angle of this place that you guys have lived in. Remember him for who he was, but try and remember the better moments than the bad ones. And then he just looks at them and then flutters down himself instead of climbing.
All right. So saying those words, the Harangon will just kind of look at you, and they kind of look at each other, and there's this unspoken, just like, thank you for saying that, like being respectful kind of tone. As you just see them start to like go into their various tents, start to grab pieces of material to bound up all the trinkets that are kind of piled up around the throne room. And they just give you that solemn nod as you take your peacock wings and start to gently float down, as if your party members start to climb down the rope ladder, with Nathaniel kind of leading down there. Now you're back down at the bottom, the base of the stump, with all the rickety walkways that are standing in the low-leveled swamp water. You take each step over to one of the skiffs that are kind of nearby, where the Harangon kind of surround you before coming out of this foggy embank that's still pretty much prevalent around you. It's still very hard to see. And each ripple of the water moving as you take each step on these sort of floating wooden pathway. See off in the distance the inn still standing there, and Bubba kind of still wedged on the side of the inn itself, sort of where the water was at shallowest before you took off and went as the water got deeper. Did Moss want to say anything to Bubba before leaving?
Am I close enough?
You could get there.
No, she just stifles her tears.
Okay.
Oh no.
Taking one last look at Bubba, as they're like kind of at this point, they were at the base of one of the legs of the moving inn, with all the fleshy little legs that were skittering them through the land. There's a few like wooden pegs, and Bubba was kind of like at the bottom of one of those wooden pegs, just like slid there, or just like there the whole time. You've seen Bubba like slide up like maybe 2 feet. This thing since you last saw him. Just like trying their best to like climb up the side of the inn. But you take one good look at Bubba, and with everything that was said and done, you know that you will see Bubba again. And you rush out to grab hold of one of the skiffs, as Nathaniel takes one of the wooden sticks with a skiff that's fairly large. It can probably hold you all very tightly. As you all kind of get in, it kind of bobs down in the water. And Nathaniel just kind of looks at you all and goes, all right, ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. And just looks up as you start to see various Harangon starting to come down the rope ladder, each carrying a bindle of sorts. Just this material wrapped into a ball of just various things protruding and poking out of it, as one by one they're starting to come down the top of the rope ladder.
Is it a long journey?
As the Herringon kind of puts the long stick in the water and starts to push the wooden skiff through the various weeds and swamp plants, going through the large bodies of water, through the wooden slats. It should take us about 20-ish minutes or so. The fog is fairly thick. If you don't know where you're getting, or you don't know which direction you're going, you get lost, and there's just things in the swamp water, let's just say that. And as the skiff starts to go forward into the mist starts to surround you, and the stump starts to get smaller and smaller as you start to see the Herringon starting to get down to the bottom of the rope ladder and start making their way into their own skiffs and start to row out towards the fleshy inn that Bubba's on. A few minutes go by and you're just drifting along with the cold fog kind of rolling beside you, sitting in there with your thoughts, thinking about what your next moves are going to be, what this next leg of the journey has in store for you. And you start to see the vegetation after a few minutes start to change. You notice the bog water and the plant life kind of drift from this gloomy, dark, grayish scale to a much lighter tone. You start to notice that the grass coming out of the water starts to change in shade. You start to notice that the smells start to become different. The sounds of the wildlife start to change as the mist starts to roll in past you. And you start to see dark shapes and dark images of landscape starting to come into focus and into view. You see weeds coming out of the swamp water as the water itself starting to get deeper and deeper, as when you were sort of looking out from Brigand's Toll, you kind of see like a bit of the bottom of the water, just murkier things behind, but as the boat goes farther and farther ahead of you, the water is getting deeper and deeper, and you can't even see the bottom of the swamp anymore. And the grass and the various weeds that now pass by you are lighter in hue, much more like going from like a Louisiana swamp into like a Florida swamp. Like the colors are a bit brighter, the sun is starting to shine out a bit more through the cloud cover, and the mist eventually starts to part. And the thick fog that was hanging heavy in the air, obscuring the area around you, so that the world appears to have shrunk to only 20 feet in all directions. Before you, the waterway starts to widen, and the current slows, giving the impression that you have entered a lake. And you start to hear a cacophony of croaking voices in the distance. Penetrating through the fog, through which dark shapes are starting to appear. And out in the distance, you can see the shapes of two rowboats sort of drifting in the distance. And as you look over to roll 20, and if you just go over to your left here, I'm going to reveal what you are all seeing. So you start to see this new marshland start to emit, with various buildings and wood-covered slats on the ground sort of start to take hold into your vision, and you could see various large lily pads like floating on by. And the murkiness ahead of you starts to come into view as these two rowboats that are kind of coming out of the mist and the fog. You see two persons, humanoids, manning the rowboats. And manning the oars of the rowboat are two bullywogs. These frog-like humanoids that have long, sort of spindly arms and thin legs, And as they look at you, they see another rowboat behind them coming in from the fog. And 2 more bullywugs are behind them. And the clothes that they are wearing appear to be fairly regal. They have these sort of long, skinny pants that sort of taper off just below the knee. These long, they kind of look like socks, but they don't wrap around their frog feet. They kind of wrap around the shin and just cover like the base of their foot. They have these sort of ruffled collars and these long shirts that are like blue with yellow stripes, with a rope kind of cinching at the waist. Big billowed cotton sleeves that kind of billow out by the elbow and wrap tightly around the forearm, and then kind of shred out just at the forearm here. And as these bullywugs start to come into your purview and start to get closer, you can see one of them like doing this and going, First off, does any of you speak Sylvan? I should say that.
I do.
Okay. So 2 of you, Moss and Abby, understand this, but Quincy and Lucifer, you do not. So the 2 of you, you just hear these 4 bullywugs coming up, and one of them going, just croaking loudly in various voices. But for the 2 of you, for Moss and Abby, you hear well, I do declare, hello there, travelers. Welcome to Downfall. And that, everybody, is where we're going to take our first break.
Let's go.
Huzzah! So, welcome to Downfall, everybody. You made it. We're going to take this time to take a quick, short little break to stretch out the legs, refill the drinks, all that good stuff. And we shall return with our second part of tonight's story, everybody. So do not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Okay,
Hello.
we are back, ready to go. We had to kind of decompress from that very heavy first part of our wacky Witchlight story, but we are back. The gang has now entered into the enchanted land of Downfall, the home of Bav Lorna, one of the hags of the Witchlight Coven. So, okay, here we go, guys. Diving back into Wild Beyond the Witchlight. After several minutes, 25 minutes, you notice that the swamp terrain around you started to change from a murky, dark, sort of ominous flavor to a much more lighter hue. The grass, the weeds becoming a much more brighter green. The fog that's rolling in behind you, you notice the sun starting to shine out through the mist. And this entire huge area that seems to be situated around a fairly large lake started to come into your purview. Lots of greenery, lots of lily pads around, a few wooden walkways and structures kind of surrounding this area. Pretty freaking interesting. And as Nathaniel's kind of taking a stick and rowing you over into this new part of the land of Prismere, of Hither, you start to see these 2 dark shapes coming out of the mist, rolling towards you. 2 rowboats with 2 bullywugs each, adorning these very royal and regal sort of clothing attached to them, as one of them just started croaking out to you in this frog-like language that only Ebby and Moss could understand, in this sort of southern deep drawl, which is like, well, hello there, welcome to Downfall, travelers. What brings you around these parts? And they just start to row. They just catch you immediately, start to row towards you. Nathaniel Herringong is like, oh, what do you want me to say?
Who is that?
They're welcoming us.
What?
These are the bullywugs of the Soggy Court. They kind of rule most of Downfall over here.
Are they nice?
They can be.
Then
Are we gonna have to kill him?
no.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm taking you as far as here, and I'm gonna just let you off in my boat and get the fuck out of here, quite frankly. Just
Okay.
Lucifer hides his smirk from what Quincy said.
I wanna. I'm assuming Nathaniel is like kind of like edges and kind of like docked us, right? Have we docked yet?
You're still kind of like floating along the water. As you see on roll 20, you're kind of starting to go through the lakeside here as it's opening up to the bigger pool of water.
Sure.
As you start to see the pair of bullywogs kind of coming towards you around the bank over here.
Okay. Cool.
And kind of floating towards the source, and they just reach out to you, just like welcome you, and they start rowing towards you.
I'm kind of just waving like, help. I'm kind of just following Ebby and Moss's lead.
Lucifer decides to not start this whatever relationship with these frog humanoids in my typical way, so he also just like paints on a very fake big smile and just goes,
hi.
He's not used to smiling.
My eyes dart between Ebby and Lucifer. So just sensing the tension, I just kind of like shimmy over to Lucifer. They're welcoming us and asking us why we're here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I just think Abby needs some time.
Okay.
Thank you.
And it shimmies back over.
As the two sets of rowboats start to come towards you, one sort of central figure that agreed to you is now a bit closer. Nathaniel's just like kind of being quiet, has the row stick in their hand. Greetings, my friends. My name is Grumple. They call me the Earl of Stinkwater. What brings you to our marshlands over here?
Glances at Quincy like, did you get that? Okay.
No language I ever spooked.
We're not from here, and we're very curious about your humble abode. What do you have here? It looks like a quaint community.
You just start to see moths starting to croak like in succession.
Evie looks over to them afterwards and is like, his name is Grumple, and he's the Earl of Stinkwater.
Thank you, Abby. It was just like, I'm amazed that he just heard like croaking come out of moss. It's like the opposite thing that a cat makes. Just...
Like, I try my best to like enlarge my throat while I'm talking to them.
Well, my furry feline friend, you are here in Downfall, and I and my friends here are representatives of the Soggy Court.
That's amazing. We're representatives from the material plane.
Fascinating. And you got one of the Herringon with you as well. And he starts to change into common. Hello there, friend. What brings you to our swamp waters today? And the Herringon just look at him, just ferrying some people over. I just wanted to see more of the land. See, we did a little bit of a trade earlier and just doing my part. And then the croaking continues. How's that old Achaidh anyway? It's been a while since we've seen him over here in Downfall. Nathaniel just looks at you, go.
He's like nudges.
Hold on, everyone's talking at once.
Hey, are they in Sylvan again?
All touch like the hair going, don't shoot.
Oh, that's right. I don't know what he said.
Did they go back to Sylvan or?
So for that, he noticed Nathaniel speaking common to the frog.
Right.
The frog then spoke common back to this particular question. Okay. So they did hear it.
So he just said that out loud in common.
Yeah, he said, "How is old Longscarf? It's been a while since he's been around here in our parts."
Kind of just elbows, like lightly nudges Jonathan, just like.
Yeah, he's doing well, you know. And we're all having a good time over Brigand's Tollway, doing our mischievous things, you know. We're actually about to send a bit of a parting gift to Bavlona anytime now. So, Yeah, things are good. Things are good.
Lucifer cuts in and says, "And my friend, you look quite dapper today. Might I just say, I love your style choice." Totally change the subject.
Okay, just rolled deception for Nathaniel and had to roll an insight for Grumple. See if they noticed anything. So saying that, Grumple goes, "Oh, my dear man, thank you so very much. You know, I try to keep up with all the latest soggy court trends, you know what I'm saying? Ruffled necks are very much in this year."
That they are, and you make them in. That is just how good the suit looks.
I mean, he just raises his head and looks at Lucifer, and it's like, oh.
And what about all of you over here? Are you all dukes and knights yourself, and Earl amongst you? If you come to pay respects to our king?
Your king. Yes.
Yes.
King. Wait, there's a king?
King Grumble the 19th.
So the name runs in the family.
Sorry, King Gollop the 19th, my bad.
Roger.
Gollop. Oh, yes. Yes. This is the Princess Moss.
Princess?
How do you do?
The first of her kind, the second of her name, the third of the swamp cats.
The swamp cats?
Oh, man, you must know of them, of course. So they're very, very... In the material world, they're very big.
This was
Boss,
nice
are you-
like flurry of his hands, like, yes, can't you see?
Boss, are you going along with this?
Yes, I am the chieftain's daughter from the island of Mastika.
That
It is-
explains so much.
I would love to have an acquaintance and appearance with your king.
Well, my word, it's been a while since other royalty has come through this land. Last you said Mystique. First off, Quincy, boss, either you both can roll deception, or one of you can roll deception at advantage.
Moss, go for it.
What do
Deception
you
advantage.
have? What
I have
do
a
you
plus.
have?
I have a +4 to deception.
Okay, you should go then. I'm +3.
Okay.
It's
Please.
pretty
Good, it's one off.
15.
You do that at advantage?
Yes.
Okay. Same thing as Grumple here. It goes, royalty, my word, that is fantastic news. I don't think we've ever had anyone from, what did you say you were from?
Mastika.
Mastika.
We would have been here for the Grumples, the 13th, but things got mixed up. So we're here for the 19th.
Well, that's perfectly
Feywild
all right,
timeline,
friend.
material plane timeline. It's so typical.
Exactly. You know, the kings, you know, it's kind of a frenzy. There's been quite a lot that have switched around and have gone out of favor, but King Gollop, not 19th, he's the newest king, and we love him. He's fucking the best. You want to go and pay your respects then? Well, why not? I mean, we were just in the area fishing around, but we can certainly take you to His Majesty if you like.
Wonderful.
Sounds like a marvelous day.
Oh, splendid! The king will be eager to meet some new royalty. Maybe make some good connections with other kingdoms and see what you could maybe gift to Bavrona yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what
It would
we're
be a
here
great honor to
for.
meet her in person.
Absolutely. Actually, yes.
Splendid. Well, we'll leave for King Gollop to decide that. Let's do with the pleasantries first. But this is amazing. What about you there, rabbit friend? Are you coming to meet Gollop yourself? And Nathaniel's just like, they have just paid me to bring them here. They could transfer over to you or onto land, and I'll just be going back over to Brigand's Toll to keep doing what we're doing over there.
Lucifer takes Lonathan's hand?
Nathaniel.
Thank you. Nathaniel's hand and just like quickly slaps like 2 coins in there. So, like, see? He's good to go.
Payment done. All right. Monarch 4. I'll just take you to land over here, and old Grumple, the Earl of Stinkwater, will take you the rest of the way.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Very good, my man. Very good.
So Nathaniel kind of takes you over to this dock that you can kind of just barely make out through the mist. You go through the skinny body of water into the much larger part of the lake here. And you do see a couple docks and a few other rowboats nearby as Nathaniel kind of drops you off over there. And you do see a fairly large structure next to the dock as well, and a few metal slats on the marshland ground to kind of keep it more secure, going towards a set of stones that make a sort of a walkway between the water and the next sort of plot of land over there. And as the get sends you over to the pier, you kind of go off on the dock, and Nathaniel's just like, all right, there you go, gang.
Before Nathaniel leaves, I kind of want to pull him aside and just kind of like, in a whispered conversation, kind of like, I'll pay him and kind of like take a couple silver and put it in his hand. Thank you, first. Secondly, how dangerous is this King Gollop?
Hold on, I think you left out a silver there. Let me it just tries to like separate you a bit as the bully
yes,
walks.
let's figure out this detail because we had extra luggage and things.
Pay him handsomely.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you.
ma'am. It's Your Majesty, for sure, always. You're generous.
This will slide a few more coins into Quincy's pocket to cover.
No.
As Nathaniel kind of goes off to the side with you. The Soggy Court?
What is this?
Well, for all intents and purposes, this is a kingdom and it belongs to them. They control this part of Downfall. King Gollop is the most recent king, the 19th, and the last 6 or so have all been taken off the throne kind of by force over the past, couple of years. The kings don't tend to last very long, and they're very emotional and a little bit greedy.
Are they like super loyal to Bavlorna and the
well, kind of like Agdon, more just afraid of their life and doing the best they can. But they are very regal and they like their position very much and does whatever their king tells them to do. So just watch yourself. Tensions can get high and
Thank you.
Stay on the ball.
Yes. All right. Appreciate it.
All right, sir. Thank you for the payment. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Grumple's got it from here. Tell King Gollop the 19th my respects, and if you happen to walk by Gollop the 18th, 16th, 15th, 14th, and 13th, tell them I say hi as well. No problem there. When we pass by him, we'll give him a little hello from you, Nathaniel.
Oh my goodness. This simply won't do. I am in tatters. If I'm going to see your king, is there a shop somewhere that we can buy clothes and make ourselves more presentable, possibly an inn to sleep and rejuvenate? I mean, I'm going to meet a king after all. I need my beauty sleep.
There's the kingdom, you see. The Gollop resides over. You might be able to stay there if the meeting goes well, of course. You are a stranger to our ways and our land, and we better make sure that the proper respects are made before such things could be introduced. I am just the Earl of Stinkwater. I don't have the power to forfeit in sleeps and stuff like that, but there is a few darklings around near where King Gollop is, and they have a little shop that they sell wares and items and trinkets and that sort of thing. You may be able, I don't know if they're selling any dresses at the moment. Most of our, unless you don't mind looking like a felly bullywog yourself.
Well, you said that the ruffles are in.
Splendid, my dear, splendid. We can make a little stop over there, make sure you're all properly prepared. King Gollum very much appreciates fine fashion, so...
Oh, I thought so. A
So
king
very
of
clear. You're a
fine
great-
taste.
You're a wonderful representative of that, sir.
Oh, thank you, my dear sir. Very well said. Follow me, friends. And
Lead
King
the way.
Gollum just starts to just waddle his way over with a few of the other bullywogs, also dressed in fine clothing,
Am
sort
I
of coming up from the rear.
Am I able to like kind of like take Quincy aside out of earshot and kind of pretend like Lucifer and Ebby are like the bodyguards, and I just kind of like sit back with him?
Sure. So you got Grumple kind of leading the way, Lucy and Ebby in front of you, and Quincy's kind of like your sort of assistant.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to whisper to Quincy. You remember those visions that you saw when we were going to the tower? The heads? He just said, say hello to 1314 so-and-so. What if they're still alive on those stake heads? Is that the vision you saw?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh my god, how do you think they're dead? Unless they're not dead, I don't know. This is... I'm freaking out, Quincy!
You're fine. You can fight.
Lucifer looks over his fingers, gives him a look like, your volume is, or he looks over his shoulder and he goes, sound travels more over water, right? Okay. Then he looks back forward.
Lovely area.
Okay, so as you're going through, walking off the dock, off the marshland, on these sort of wooded slats to kind of stabilize your travel here, you start to take in this large structure that's right next to the dock level. Let's see. Okay. Down. My notes. Okay, so looming above a ramshackle wooden pier is a balloon anchored by 4 thick ropes tied around wooden posts, driven deep into the mire. The balloon's bladder expands and sags at irregular intervals as swamp gas fills it briefly before leaking through various tears in its patchwork fabric. A bullywog stands near the top of a ladder and is using a long silver needle in a spool of catgut to sew up one of the openings.
A spool
Second
of what?
bullywog, pardon me,
A spool of what?
it says catgut.
Ooh.
To sew up one of the openings. A second bullywog stands
I
at
throw
the
up.
foot of the ladder to steady it. Huddled nearby are 3 giant frogs whose tongues snap up, passing insects. And you just see them working on this large weather balloon, this sort of patchwork swamp gas balloon, as the bullywog just kind of take past you, and just notice them just kind of just sewing it together, and you see this giant sort of leather balloon patchwork just expanding and kind of going back and forth.
What's that for? What is this?
That's one of the swamp gas balloons we have here in the old soggy court. Helps us to traverse around hither and Prismere and get from place to place. Only the finest for the soggy court, you see.
Oh, is this the only one, or do you have multiples? You have many. I'm sure you must have many in your kingdom.
Oh, we have quite a few. One of them, unfortunately, had recently been hijacked, you might say. It was a bit of a rough business with a fairy dragon and someone from our court kind of changing allegiances, but we don't need to go into the
Fairy dragons.
of anything. But I do believe there is a rather special balloon that the Darklings own near their shop, and I don't want to give away the surprise for that one. So you'll see it when you get it. It's quite exquisite, I must say.
Yes, looking at what leather patches you are using up there, it looks quite extravagant and unique.
Very good, very, very good. So you travel a bit more past that structure, over to what looks like a stone crossing of sorts to get to this next plot of land over here. And you see Grumple start to walk across them, and just goes up to you. Come along, they don't bite hard. Stones. And just starts to walk forward.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I'll go forward.
All right, so who is going first in your little order here? I believe it would be...
Moss should not be.
Moss should
To
not
keep
go
our...
queen safe.
Mm-hmm. Princess. Moss. Lucifer starts walking first.
Quincy, make a stealth check on that blurb. Or deception check on that blurb, I should say.
14.
No, stealth.
Oh, stealth? Okay, 12.
12. Okay.
Lucifer's
So
reported
as Grumble has kind of gone along the stones, and you're walking forward, and you're saying, "Oh, don't let maybe we should let the queen stay behind, princess." One of the bullocks were like, "Yeah, sorry. Did you say she was the queen?"
Lucifer blurts out, "Yes, well, she will be as soon as we find her the proper royal mate."
As is how royalty goes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Once a princess, then a queen,
I am
then we
on
find
the
a queen.
market.
Oh my! You've got. Oh, that is good news, Queen. King Gollop has been very lonely over these past. He got over the kingdom, and a new companion would be quite a treasure. Oh my lord!
Well, we didn't expect things to go so quickly here from the Matili Plains in the Feywild. We just never know. But if
once
things go
again,
wonderfully-
Quincy and Lucy either both roll deception or one of you do it at advantage.
During this time, Abby quietly himself is like,
Let me do it, Quincy.
Go for it.
Why this is going on at all. There's no one has explained to him in any sense. He is taking everything at value.
16.
16. They seem to be buying it as you have now changed your thing. Well, she's a princess now, but will become a queen very, very soon, and is looking for a mate to kind of join the courts together from the most notable town, region of Mastia.
This is great. We're doing fine.
As the bullywog now goes back to his other bullywog friends, and just like whispering to them the secret you just told them. And they're like, "Oh, that's so exciting! Oh, Gollop will be so happy."
I am immensely fertile.
Okay, so who's going first along the stone steps here?
I'm gonna say Abby right now because he's just really lost.
Okay.
You can go first. As I just stare at Quincy and
As you try to keep your composure from whatever the fuck it is you are trying to do right now.
We don't even know ourselves.
Okay, so Abby, you start to. Are you walking or do you just fly?
A bit of both. He'll just like flitter across.
Kind of. Boop, boop.
Yeah.
So you're walking through these stone sort of steps. Again, the water's fairly high. It's not as low as Brigand's Toll was. So at the bottom of the water here is fairly murky to see.
Mhm.
But as soon as you get kind of into the middle part of the stone steps here, one of the stone steps kind of sinks down a little bit as you step on it. And then you hear a kind of bubbling underneath. Sounds like. And the step that you put your bird toes on suddenly, and this stone figure rises up as you take your feet off, and this stone-like shape rises out of the water, and it has a rocky face to it. And it looks very upset. You just hear this low grumbling that, "Well, I'm just, you're stepping on my head like that. How no better do that. Oh, this is just... Is just very upset.
Evie is in shock. And when he raised up, did Evie go up with him or no?
It's not sort of standing like, 20 feet tall. Just this large rock head-like visage comes out from the water. You see like these rock eyebrows and like tiny little eyes, tiny little black beads for eyes, and a sort of rock mouth that kind of shakes back and forth and little pebbles fall off of it.
Evie is startled at the situation that's gone on. He cranes his neck towards and listens to the words, and then steps back onto the stone before the stone creature before him, and just immediately starts apologizing and admitting to not knowing his surroundings and that he did something so terrible.
So you're just like apologizing. And he's like, well, I know I look like a rock, but I'm not supposed to be stepped on. I am a being of this world with feelings, and I should not be a dull match for people to just rock about here in the soggy cult.
I totally agree with you. I am ashamed that I did such a thing. I should have known so much better. You deserve much better treatment than that.
Right, roll a persuasion check.
Oh.
No, I'm just... Nothing happens. I rolled a 2 and I can't even find where my numbers are.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
going to 5.
We're going to frog jail.
Talk about being
can I
honest. And no, you're not honest at all. I got 5.
So this sort of huge, sort of sentient rock figure just bobbing in the water. Like, that's no excuse. You wouldn't... If a baby was in the water, you wouldn't step on its head to get past it. No, it's just because I'm a rock, right? I'm a rock, and you could just walk all over me whenever you want and just do whatever you feel like. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna take it anymore. I am a being with feelings, and I demand it to be respect, and I need restitution for you to do this to me. How are you gonna make this right?
Can
Yeah, Abby. How are you gonna make this right?
I was like,
real quick. Grumble just went across the rocks, right?
Grumpa went across the rock, but for some reason it didn't. He did not set on this particular rock when he was walking by.
so
Abby's on
Abby's...
top of his head?
No, Abby's just a step back before
He's
them.
now stepped back, and this large, like, head has just risen out of the water. This big rock-like head is just talking to Abby.
And in Sylvan?
Nope, in common.
Okay. And so I was like, absolutely. And he turns around and looks at the 3 frogs, and the rest of the group is like, how are we ever going to compensate this fellow for this treacherous act?
I don't know. You're the one who stepped on his head.
Abby turns back to look at the Grumble across. Is like, you didn't tell me there's a thing living here. And now they're upset.
Oh, my friend. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's the Feywild, my friend. Lots of things living around in lots of places. Did you apologize?
I did.
You must
Ow.
understand, sir. I want to kind of run up to kind of Ebby's aid, kind of just careful not to step on anything else, but like, and I'll address the stone. I'm like, you must understand. You must forgive this one in particular. He is new to the customs, and you must. His sight is not what it used to be. That's why he, with the wings, you would expect him to fly, but his sight isn't what it used to be, and so he has to walk. So,
Yes, I'm old.
Roll persuasion check there.
This looks over after Abby says that, just be like, did he just lie?
13.
Technically, no, I didn't lie.
You are old. Okay.
Old to him, but
Roger.
I got 20.
So the two of you sorry, just tell me again the story you're making up.
19.
You're a bit older, and you could fly, but you need to walk.
yes, he's got to be more cautious and careful, and he can't really quite see, and it's just like he's just chose to walk. Also for the princess, to make sure it's safe to cross.
So this large rock-like elemental known as a Galeb Dur staring at you, and you sort of say this to them. Just like, he's sorry. He's getting older. He used to be able to fly a lot. He's just getting used to walking. Like, I'm sure you can understand. And the large rocky elemental just kind of takes a moment. Oh, age is a hard thing to get used to. I've been around for 500 years, and my rock shells are falling off all over the place. The swamp water erodes my body, and I'm sorry.
But you have you must have wisdom of the ages and sages and.
Abby sits down and is like, I understand, and then kept crashing away. Like, to Abby, this means something, but he's not going to get the translation across. But like, I'm 11. I understand what it's like to be.
Do you know what age is?
Lucifer over his shoulder just goes, his kind's years differ from ours.
His kind actually averages to live to like, how old? 30. So he is on death's door practically.
knock on death's door.
All right, so
Is there anything I could do to help with my sincere apology?
Watch where you're going.
I promise. My name is Abby.
And like you see the floating head just like disappear in the swamp water as you're like, I am Ed.
Oh no!
Bye.
Oh no!
And just the rock just sort of sinks back into the water.
And Abby looks up to Quincy's like, I'm not old.
No, you're not. But just
Abby just like looks over into the girl. Was like, oh, I said the name wrong. Grumple. It's like, is there anything else alive here that I need to be worried about?
We'll find out. The Saga Court has many extravagant things living in with it and outside of it. We are a thriving ecosystem, and everything and everyone cohesively works with the other, you understand. And sometimes there are elementals and various lifelikes around. We try to keep tabs on it, but it's quite exciting to be. And he just keeps going on and on and on.
And this was like, yes, quite, and your landscaping is quite beautiful as well. Now, on we go.
Okay, so as you all kind of follow suit over the rock stone passing, you begin to come across another building over to your right here, and you start to smell and see smoke coming out of this building in particular. As you kind of come across the stone steps to kind of make your way over westward, you see this wooden structure stands on stilts above the lake. It is topped by a steep conical roof made of thatch. Smoke curls up from a hole at its apex. Its windows are blacked out, and the air carries a smell of burned wood. You see a clothesline attached to one corner of the building's exterior is hung with a variety of frayed patchwork garments. And the line kind of goes from the corner of this building. It just goes into the fog bank, kind of surrounding this lake sort of village over here. And the sun is kind of getting a little bit lower here as well. There's a good smattering of like oranges and pinks and purples kind of all around you, encompassing in with the fog. And you can see that the building is accessible by a couple rampways sort of around it. You can just kind of barely hear sort of a muffled sound inside. It's like, oh, fuck.
Is there a window I can peer into?
They're all blackened out from the smoke.
Grumple, what is this building for?
Are they okay?
And as Grumple's kind of leading you through, you see the smoke curled up. Oh, my friends, don't worry about that too badly. It has something to do with that unscrupulous, unsavory events where a weather balloon got taken care of, that got stolen out of. They did not have the permission to do so, and like I said, there were a couple of traitors in the midst of the soggy courts, and well, let's just say this is our way of getting them to learn their lesson. You see, so we had to kind of discipline them a bit and kind of make the work a bit harder, you might say, for making swamp balloons. But old Dookie in there, he's taking care of it. He's got some buckets of water and put out the fire as we speak. But we have been instructed not to help him.
Well, I hope that this type of thievery does not happen often because Princess Moss has high standards.
Oh, definitely. No, not at all. We are all very loyal subjects to King Gullop the 19th, and we do everything the king tells us to do. There's sometimes misguided people, that ask questions or goes against what Gullop says, and to go against Gullop is to go against Baflorna and the Hourglass Coven, and that is just a no-no around these parts, you see?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules! Well said, my horn friend.
At least the hold his tongue wanting to say, and they're made to be broken, he just doesn't say the part.
So the building's on fire and they're kind of trying to put it out, right? Is that kind of like how it's going?
So nothing's on fire. There's just smoke curdling out of the top part of the roof to this building. And the windows are all blackened out from the smoke. And you just see somebody, and you can hear somebody inside just struggling.
Should we help them?
No, didn't you hear, Abby, that they have this all under control and it's all under the law of Lord Gallop?
And Lucio just speaks up real quick. Well, I am quite good with fire myself, so while I understand some of the common folk may not be allowed in there, if there ever needs to be some checking, let me know.
Oh, no problem, my friend. If the fire inside gets a bit untoward, we'll come get your toot sweet and help you put it out. But old Dookie in there, it's not his fault, but he was kind of connected, so it's fine. It's one of our finest buildings to produce some of our swamp gas balloons, but since the balloon that got stolen was under Duke's watch there, he's just got to take a time out, He's leave them to put out the old fires and tail. But come along, don't let Duke here distract you from his idiocy. Let's go forward.
Can I, as we're walking, are we back? Are there bollywogs behind us? Kind of flanking.
There's 3 behind you.
Okay. I want a prestidigitation, a small candle flicker in the wood, in the corner, in the tiniest part of the wooden structure, and just want to start a little candle on the outside and hope it catches something.
Okay, so you're gonna prestidigitate a candle that's gonna be up against the wooden structure. You're trying to do this, I'm guessing you're trying to do this a bit slyly.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, make a sleight of hand check against the perception of the bullywogs that you're with.
That's a 7.
You gotta be kidding me. Hold on. Fuck you, no. Okay, I'm gonna show everyone this right now because this is fucking ridiculous. I just rolled 3 because there's 4 bullywogs, so I was gonna roll 4 perception to see if they spotted the little candle. You saw me roll, and I put up my hands. I didn't move anything around. Oh, I'm not doing this for fucking dramatic effect.
You even cursed, yeah.
2, 1, and a 5.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I have 1 more to roll.
Okay.
At a disadvantage.
That is an itself disadvantage.
Fuck you. It's a 1.
Wow. That's crazy.
Can we
Oh,
please?
3 ones and a 5.
Keep those dice, DM. We like those.
Oh my gosh.
I quit DMing.
Please don't do that.
I will no longer be going to D&D at a castle. I'm great. No,
The castle
I'm
will be
kidding.
coming to you.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
Oh
Fuck.
gosh.
Okay. Yeah. So Grumple is just too involved with himself and telling Lucy the tale of what happened with Duke and the swamp balloon to even notice it too far ahead. You're kind of more in the central lineup. The 3 bullywogs at the end of the lineup are just like hushedly gossiping amongst themselves about like what Moss and King Gullop's children will look like. Like, have you ever seen a cat mixed with a frog? What does that even look like?
They're called a bullabaxi.
A bullabaxi? Oh, that bullabaxi. Have you ever seen a bullabaxi? I don't know, but like
Bullabaxi.
the tongue comes out at the end. Does it have frog legs? Would it have frog eyes and like cat ears? And they're just like gossiping and don't even notice as Quincy, as you're kind of walking by the central part of the structure, the smoke rising up, you just and you just see a little candle with the flicker right above a slat of wood, and it's just there,
Mm-hmm.
and you walk away.
That's it.
Okie dokie, next place.
Wow. Wow.
So,
Oh,
going towards this wooden bridge on this side here.
oh no.
That could have been so bad.
Do we need a candle marker on there now?
Oh, trust me, it's burned into my head. No pun intended. So as you're coming to this wooden bridge leading off to another section of the soggy court, as it were, this flat wood plank bridge, which spans an arm of the lake, is lined on one side by rows of bullywog heads on wooden spikes.
That's crazy.
At the center of the bridge, a small figure sits with its feet dangling over one side. Figure appears to be talking to itself in bemoaned tones.
Oh no.
But then the severed bullywog heads nearby erupt in a cacophony of voices, some indignant, others sympathetic. A few in a more distant row yell, "What? I couldn't hear what they said!" And you start to walk towards the bridge here, and all of these bullywogs that are on spikes all have various crowns on their heads and all have various ruffled material around their necks. Some are wearing jewelry, some are huge, some are skinny, all various shapes and sizes. And you can kind of overhear conversations happening. One, like some of them are talking about who was the better ruler back in the day. Them talking about how they were all former monarchs and were disposed and killed by usurpers. And that the current ruler, King Gullop the 19th, all agreeing that he is a weak ruler. Even saying like, I hear there's probably another coup in the works, and maybe he'll be the next one to get usurped. You hear conversations about Sir Tavalar, and that he was Baflorna's escaped prisoner, and that maybe they had help from some of the bullywogs in the Soggy Court. And this is just kind of like all going back and forth as you're getting closer to the wood bridge. The figure, the small figure who's in the middle of the bridge is an interesting character, this small figure that's sort of now conversing with the heads. Their head is a giant gourd, sort of a pale yellowish looking gourd, like big bulbous head, and then a smaller spherical shape on top with like a little root coming out of it, with this sort of tattered yellow cotton shirt with tufts of hay protruding out of different parts of the yellow shirt. They have 2 giant blue crab claws coming out of the ruffles of the yellow shirt. They have a little small bag kind of cinched down to the corner that's hanging off the side there, a little white satchel, brown pants that kind of taper off near the knees, and then skinny little sticks for legs, and 2 bulbous sort of brown leather boots that are cuffed on the bottom. And they are just sitting by there conversing with these severed bullywog heads.
Can I do an insight check to see if this is Clapper Claw?
Yeah, it's not insight.
Or perception?
History?
History, yeah. Make a history check.
Okay. Well, that's already really good, but dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So yes, so this does seem to match the description of Clapperclaw that Arclight, the host of the Moving Inn, had told you about. And as you are starting to get closer to this figure, you hear these conversations going on, and the bullywogs just kind of conversing with themselves. And Grumpo starts walking on the bridge leading you, just says, "Hello there, former monarchs. Hope you're having a good day today." And they go, "Oh, quite right, yes, bully, blah, 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 blah," and just kind of conversing amongst themselves. Some of them acknowledge him, some of them are too self-obsessed themselves. As Grumple starts to walk past this scarecrow-looking figure with a gourd head, with these claws just clapping together in the distance. "Make way, my friend, make way. We have royal guests coming to our king today. Move aside, move aside."
I'm sorry. I'll just move over here then. I don't want to I can't go in swamp water because then my stray body will get all soggy and wet. I'll just go on the other end of the bridge over here. Just one second.
Gets up and starts moving away. One of the monarchs, the severed-headed bullywise, shouts out, "Goodbye there, Clapperclaw. I hope you find your original head sometime soon."
I don't think so. Agdon stole a long time ago, but I think I'll get over there someday and maybe find it. We'll see.
And just walks over to the other end of the bridge and makes way for you guys.
Who is that?
Oh, that there? That's Clapperclaw. Just Denzian travels around a little bit. Bear no mind to him. Just ignore him. Pretend he doesn't exist. We let him kind of travel around the Soggy Coal for a little bit, but he's good for some things, you know. Bringing things to King Gullop and stuff like that. You know, we employ him from time to time.
I'm so sorry. Being a foreigner to this lovely area, did one of those monarchs say that Longscarf stole something from him? I thought you guys were allies. Do allies steal from each other here? I don't know if I want to be a part of that.
Oh, no, my dear. Clapperclaw here is not really an ally. It's just imagine him like a stump or a flower or just something that grows out of the weed, you see. We just allow him to kind of hang about, and if we need something for him to do, we give him a little bit of work here and there, but don't let him distract you from what will be a momentous occasion and a glorious day for the Soggy Court. He likes to blabber on about he had a stag skull for a head at some point that Agdon stole from him, and I think he might have kept it or maybe gave it away. I don't really know the full story. He's not very fond of his gourd head, but we all think it's pretty hilarious.
So would you say, don't get me wrong, would you say that you don't steal from your allies, but from those lesser, it's just easy at that point?
Whatever the kingdom needs and whatever the Hourglass Coven requests, we give it to them. But that's more Agdon's territory, you know. Gathered around, finding gifts, and paying the proper respect and making sure that other denizens of the Feywild follow suit. That's more Agdon's deal. We here are a much more civil and regal society.
Noted. As they're going across the bridge, Lucer's making a point to each and every single severed head just to go, my liege, my lord, hello, good day. You all look magnificent today. Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Moisturized.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Yeah.
he said I was great.
Now shut up, you're fat and ugly.
Fuck.
And they just like, there's so many on spikes, all just like having wayward. It's like going through the mall and just hearing like a group of 10 people all just talking, having various conversations. Some acknowledge you, some are just still engrossed in their own conversations. But the ones that you're paying the respect on their like the bullywog frog heads on spikes are just going like,
Sorry.
one of them is just like asleep with their long like frog tongue just hanging out on the side.
Lucifer can
Are
see
you
like
all dead?
Oh, no! I was having enough!
My apologies.
Princess.
You see their head just like on the spike go. Just to turn away from you.
My apologies, my liege.
Lucifer sees Moss uncomfortability and just like offers her an arm like, come on, my lady. Keep moving forward.
Frozen.
All right, so as you pass by Clapperclaw, as he's just kind of like over to the side, just like being small and quiet and just letting you kind of pass through. As Clapperclaw kind of walks to the other end of the wooden bridge, you can hear jangling going on in his empty gourd, like coins of some kind going as he's just like his little boots just shuffling along the way for the royal train to kind of come on through.
Lucifer wants to say something to him so bad, but holds his tongue for now.
Yeah, it's not safe.
And Clapperclaw kind of saying to the side,
Oh, sorry there, everybody. There you go.
and Grumple's like, quite right there, Clapperclaw, quite right. Steps forward, and you all just start to pass Clapperclaw one at a time.
I want to stop real quick. I'll be like, Princess Moss,
Yes.
would you like another servant to help you get ready for the king?
Oh my goodness. I would love one.
Actually, yes. And
Someone who's acquainted with the land.
someone who knows the rituals and the customs.
It's all quite foreign to me, yes.
Yes.
One who seems quite fashionable themselves.
Absolutely. You, sir! And I look at Clapperclaw. What is your name?
Oh, my name's Clapperclaw.
Clapperclaw, you have now been endowed with the responsibility to help Princess Moss here prepare for her meeting with the king.
A very high responsibility and highly regarded as well.
I'm quite nervous.
Apparently.
What? That's a big responsibility.
Yes, and we believe, and I know that you will do wonderful.
And Grumple has kind of walked ahead of you as the four of you have kind of stopped a bit from the convoy kind of going. The three bullywogs are kind of standing at the end of the convoy, just kind of waiting for you to finish. And Grumple kind of notices that you're a bit behind, says, "Wait, what? What's going on here? What's happening? Is Clapperclaw giving you trouble? Should I give
The
a
princess would like to employ Clapperclaw in her stead for the temporary future. If that is all right with you, to help prepare so she looks her absolute best for the king."
Of course. As you all said, you give him jobs from time to time, otherwise let him wander, so let us take part in that tradition and give him a temporary job.
Princess Moss loves to get to know her subjects before they become her subjects. I'm sure you understand.
That's a good one. You listen to me, Clapperclaw. And he just starts looking down at him. First off, make a persuasion check at advantage.
There will
means
be
so
no
very lost.
Who would you like it, Jennings or me?
Whoever wants to do it.
I got a natural 20.
Oh, all you, all day.
Well, then clearly Jennings.
This is not my fucking day.
That dice.
Gotta
rolling
I like
is
that's
great.
good
It's beautiful,
dice.
but
That's good
Keep it.
dice.
Crit kit, everybody. Great for players. Sometimes hilarious for DMs. Okay. So, you say that, and Grumble goes down to Clapperclaw. He's like, "Listen to me, you little freak. I don't know why you were sitting on that bridge today, but these people here apparently want to employ you, so you are gonna act your best. You are not gonna do anything untoward to upset the king or the Soggy Court. But Avlona took you in, alright? When Granny Nightshade was doing all those things and you fled, we took you in. So you be on your best behavior and make sure Princess
Moss.
Moss has everything that she needs. You understand, yes?
Oh, yes, of course. I'll do whatever I can to make sure that Princess Mouse is very, very well taken care of. I won't even mention the stag skull anymore. I swear, I'll be a good scarecrow. I swear.
All right then. Princess Moss. Clapperclaw here would love to be in your employ.
Wonderful, because there was no other choice.
Quite right. Get over there, Clapperclaw. And like the long, spindly arms of the green bullywog just nudging Clapperclaw.
Oh,
Just kind of nudges them forward. You hear the clanging of some sort of coins inside the gourd. That's Clapperclaw with his blue claw, crab claw hands.
right.
He's just small. He's a small little construct compared to you. He's like,
I can't really take your arm. The claws, you see, they're a little sharp. You can hold the end of it, though.
Can I whisper to Lucifer, do you have any more of that mushroom wine to let him know that we were allied with Arclight? Just a subtle hint. Do you have any?
Lucifer just reaches into his pocket and just very carefully offers it to the scarecrow, Clapperclaw. This is the first little payment for
A
your
gift
sister.
in good faith.
Oh,
Let us talk later.
I don't have a mouth hole.
Just put in your gourd.
Oh, all right. There's a couple things still in there. I lost my head a long time ago. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that. I'm sorry.
No,
No, it's all right.
okay. You can talk to me about the plights you've experienced. I can tell that with my potential betrothal, I will provide a matronly touch to this land.
I mean, you're the one who said you
If
were
you
fertile.
have any items that maybe is a bit heavy for you, you could stuff them in my straw body and I can hold them for you.
Let us just share a cup of this later, but we shall
Okay.
talk.
Oh, all right then. I'll have to follow you. Make sure you got whatever you need, Princess Moss.
Lisa looks down and you're doing great already.
Can I hold him?
he's small. You could just like,
I'm gonna pick him up like a baby.
All right then. That's what you need.
and just some bits of straw fall out of his yellow and his strong little stick, like small, thin little stick legs with these leather boots just like dangling as you're holding them up with these claw hands. Like,
I gotta I'm trying my best. I don't want to pinch you. I'll put my arms out like this. Is that better, Princess Mouse?
Oh, you're doing a lovely job, sweetie.
No, all right then.
Lucifer's turning like extra shades of red, just like, I don't know what this little creature is, but I love it.
This gives you comfort. I'll just stay here then.
Clever Claw, you're just so sweet.
Lead on, Sir Grumble.
All right, let's get on here.
What just happened?
We'll talk all about it tonight, Abby, or when we have a moment. It's okay.
Okay.
You're doing fine.
And as you guys are sort of leaving this section, and you are starting to get towards the next plot of land at the end of the wooden bridge here, you start to see this marble gazebo kind of at a distance. And Grumble says, all right, well, this is where the king likes to preside over most days. If there's anything that you need to do to pamper yourself up. You wanted to go get some clothes, correct?
We cannot meet the king at this moment right now. We've been traveling.
Look at me.
That's true. You do look very worse for wear.
And we have, honestly, we've been in the company of the Herringong, and you know.
The swamp?
Princess Moss must look her best.
I will say this swamp is quite a piece of shit compared to our swamp. I mean, look at the colors.
Language! In front of the princess, language!
Lucifer puts his hands very lightly over Moss's ears.
Make another deception.
I'm quite sheltered.
Wait, do you want either of us to do it or just Quincy?
I'm not gonna say. It depends on who. Yeah.
Whoever said language.
Well, it was Quincy who kind of started that one.
That's a 10. That's a 10.
But you can get advantage for Lucy helping you out with the lie there.
Okay, that's a 20. That's a 21 then.
Okay. You guys go. I'm sorry, princess. I will watch my language from here on out. Well, let's just be a little bit quiet. Sometimes the king's personal close court likes to relax around this time and place, so we'll just be a little bit quiet, and we'll just sneak around so you can get yourself some proper clothes there. So as you are passing by this grand marble gazebo, you see that it stands atop a mound of soggy earth, and it's white stone streaked green with algae. The support pillars have sunk into the muck unevenly, so that the domed canopy now sits slightly askew. Short steps ring the gazebo, leading to a raised floor where you can sort of start to see bullywogs dressed in shabby clothing lounge on pillows. And you can hear the slightest sound of a harp playing in the distance. Sends forth delicate notes that mingle with the murmured croaking of the gathered nobles inside. So you just kind of see that a little bit at the entrance of the gazebo as you're kind of walking through it, and you can kind of hear that harp playing. You can hear a few moaning and croaks coming in from inside from various bullywogs, but that's about all you can make as you kind of go around the corner to the next destination. Okay, so going around here, I'm gonna put a little clapper claw token on the map.
I didn't want to leave him behind. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I want to take it with us.
I thought I had one. I can't see it.
Now
right
I have to
That's
sew a
fine.
doll
I
of
can get
Clapper
that.
Claw. I have the materials.
Like a little
That
scarecrow with
clapper
a
claw.
gourd head. Oh.
I did make one. I just don't think I put it in the system yet, but I'll put it in there. Toot sweet.
Sure. We know he has. Moss is holding the clapper claw. You got 2 gourds now.
I do.
Just collecting the gourds.
I'm the queen of gourds.
The Queen of Gourds.
Princess.
Ah.
So you start to make your way to the westward part of the soggy court here in the marshlands. And you can see kind of another structure that you pass by right over here. And this appears to be a structure that's rising from the soggy earth. And it's a sturdy wooden hut with an open doorway on one side of it. You can kind of see at the back of the hut are 2 holding cells. And you see thick mangrove roots that serve as bars with a small round door closing off each cell. And as you kind of are passing by the entrance going to a a very interesting structure behind it. You kind of notice the floor of one of the cells is covered with several inches of stinking water. And you see that the other cell holds a figure in rags slumped against the back wall, but you can't really make out who it is. It's kind of covered in shadow.
Okay.
But you press on. And as you get sort of behind there onto another wooden bridge, you notice something fairly astounding. You see a big black balloon floating over the lake, tugging at its moorings. Beneath it hangs a basket made of black wicker and wood, which serves as a merchant's stall. A large pane of gray glass is drawn closed across an opening above the counter. A sign mounted above the window reads, "Wondrous wares and fair fares." The balloon is not made of fabric, but rather appears to be a rolling dark rain cloud that has been contained somehow with lines and netting. So imagine a weather balloon where the basket is like a merchant stall, but it spreads out, the balloon spreads out super wide and is like a contained thunder and rainstorm.
Awesome.
That's
You
cool.
can see streaks of lightning and light just
Awesome.
above it.
That's so cool.
And as you approach this shop, you can see two darklings, dark fey creatures that sort of approach and kind of pop up, kind of cramped into the merchant's stall. And they see Grumple coming up. And as Grumple leads them up, "Hello! Ahoy there, my friends! How are you doing today, Trinket, Bauble? Nice to see you again." And these two darklings kind of look at you, and they are, I guess, kind of imagine like small goblin-looking creatures, but they don't have dark green skin. They have very dark gray skin. Same features as goblins, sort of the pointed ears, the longer nose, but all their skin is this dark gray color.
Cool.
And they kind of look at you as this giant rain cloud balloon is just protruding over their heads. "Ah! Grandma? Where you at?" "Oh, I'm sorry there, friends. I might have caught you at a bad time, but turns out we have been visited by royalty." Looks over to you, to your convoy of your party members, and Princess Moss, soon to be Queen Moss, soon to possibly be Mrs. King Gullop, looks on at these two small dark fey creatures in the merchant stall.
Don't forget Bertha of Balabaxi, children.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Balabaxi!
Balabaxi.
New homebrew coming up. Oh gosh.
And as he looked like, oh, royalty today. Oh, well, that's glory to the Soggy Court then, I guess. That's amazing news. What would a humble servant like myself be able to give someone like you there, princess?
Anything better than these tattered clothes that I have on? I know that the ruffles around your neck are very much in fashion. Is there anything else that I could wear on my body
On your back.
that could impress the king?
Well, let's see. Most of our wares are sort of made for bullywog people, you see. But we could make some minor adjustments, I guess. Would you all be needing some more royal effects? Your clothes, they're not to offend anyone, but they look rather drab.
Oh yes, no. We have arrived, and your fashion is top tier, top shelf, as we can see. And don't worry, as royalty, we can cover it. So, yes, why don't we who here would like to get a little touch up of their wardrobe?
And as Trinket's talking to you, Bauble next to them, almost looking like twins, kind of shouts out to you. All right, well, here. This is what we have for sale currently, as Trinket goes and kind of works on the clothing. You might be interested in some of these items as well. You see one of them's like pushing the sale a bit more than Trinket being more respectful. And they push forward this this sign that's kind of hanging below the counter as they kind of go behind the counter and kind of take it off the hinges and like, see, look, right here, perfect for you as well. Some fine clothes, maybe some fine little trinkets for you, maybe to give to the king themselves, maybe just have on you to make yourself a little bit more fashionable, a little bit more extravagant. And as you kind of like, Moss, as you kind of take this wooden sign with just like sort of carved etchings into it, the sign reads, available for a limited time only in Sylvan. And there's a few items listed on here for sale. One says, very good thimble, mug of bumble beer, dusk mallow pie, bundle of dry wood, ink portraits, and moonlight monocle.
Monocle.
I relay this in common to everyone else. Anything you might like on here?
The bundle of wood is intriguing, I do say.
I don't know. I am quite a fan of monocles.
Oh. Well then, chop chop, my good darkling. The monocle, please. What is it?
The monocle, okay, very, very good. Yeah, you look like you could use a bit of correction on your eyes there. One keeps like leaving around. You notice that, right?
Yes, of course. Hate when that happens.
I know.
I thought I saw that. No worries. The monocle will set you apart right, and you'll be able to see straight and not look like a goofy weirdo ever again. All right.
I so appreciate that. Like his neck's getting warm. Just.
I'm patting Lucifer. Yes.
Abby's smiling happily.
About time we corrected that.
Okay then.
All right, so he kind of goes behind the stall for a while, and it's like there's not really a back room necessarily. There's just like this weather balloon stall. Well, actually, no, there's not a weather balloon stall. There's like a little shack on the edge of the pier here where all of the ropes and mooring to the balloon over top is situated. And kind of like, imagine like a fairly large weather balloon stall that's been manufactured into like its own little building with like a makeshift roof on top. So you've got like the front counter there, and there's like a little bit of a makeshift wall for a door to fit so you can kind of go through the back. And you feel like a couple of rumblings around for items and things like that. And Bubble comes out with this monocle that is a nice sort of like tinted blue glass with like a silver crescent moon like adorning the outside of the roundness of it. It's like, these ones are very, very special kind of monocle, you see. Can also, help you see in the dark a little bit. Not to say that, you have a bad vision when it comes to seeing in the nighttime, but...
Oh, he does.
Oh, does he? Yes, I thought so. When I saw that eye wiggling around, I'm like, he probably can't see anything.
This is his mouth closed to Abby, understanding that this may very well be how he processes things. So he's just like, no, that's quite right. As soon as it's even, dark sky, I can't see anything.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so we got one of those. Is there anything else you might be liking? Maybe something a bit off the menu?
Like a ride in your balloon?
No, not that, you creepy weirdo. No one rides in the balloon. But we do have something very, very extravagant that was recently procured that we've been looking for a special somebody maybe to take off our hands. This is a very, very, very hard to find and rare gift, and if you're willing to come up with the proper payment, I think it'd be a glorious addition to the welcomed relationship of King Gollop and to yourself, Princess Moss of, what did you say?
Princess Moss. With all due respect, it sounds like this is an item that they have trouble selling.
Oh no, my friend. It's just that
I
it's
understand.
quite a high price, and not everyone
Yes.
can pay it.
We've dealt with unique items which tend to be mere baubles. But you humor us. What is it?
And Trinket goes over to Bauble, who's like kind of got a bit of excited ahead of themselves. Once Bauble heard royalty was here, they just want to push the cell.
Mhm.
And Trinket goes over like, listen to me, little squirt. We're gonna make them their clothes, but like, don't push it, okay? I don't want to go into the holding cell over there. Just like, be calm. Well, we just got this the other day. Who's gonna buy it? One of the fucking frog people that run around here? No, they're just royalty. It's me for that. And they just like run back and forth. Going, okay, fine. I'll go get it. You've got the monocle pickle. Just 1 second there, my friends. Just be right back. And Trinket runs to the back room. Give me 1 second, everybody.
Ooh,
Oh, he's
A
there's
prop?
an actual back room.
A prop.
an actual thing. Hmm.
How's your eyesight, Lucifer?
Apparently not as good as I thought.
So you hear a bit of a struggle in the back room there. You hear boxes being moved. Bubble! I'm small! Fucking help me! You're supposed to... Oh, okay. Sorry. What the fuck? No, it's a
Covers
big
Moss's
thing.
ears a little bit.
Okay.
If only one of the toads were like, language.
You hear a bit of scuttling back and forth. Like, I'm sorry, princess. The Darklings are... they kind of do their own thing. We haven't been able to tell them about the proper etiquette. And,
What?
I mean...
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. And the whole time you're holding Clapperclaw here, like,
Oh yeah, they're quite the extravagant.
Can I snuggle him and I start purring?
Okay.
Clapperclaw, if that's what you need.
That's what you mean.
If that's what you need, huh?
So you hear the small fey creatures in the background, like rumbling around. Trinket asks for help from Bauble. All right, you grab this hand. No, you grab the. You hold. Get the pointed thing away from me. It's gonna stab me. No, it's fine. No, okay. You hold the other end. I'll hold the back end. Hey, you kick the door. It'll swing open. We both run out. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And the wicker door just goes open, and the two darklings come out. They're fairly small, so you just see them hold this elongated, spiraling, almost bone-like pointed item. And they both go, and put it on the front desk. And what looks to be a unicorn horn gets plopped onto the table. Told you, right? Very, very exciting. Very, very exquisite. Only for the finest customers.
So it's a toothpick.
No, this thing is large.
insulted.
It's not actually this small. This is a mini.
No,
It's like
I would've-
a large, like
Oh, okay.
like the size of a real unicorn's horn.
How do we know if it's real?
How can you say you procured this item?
It could be very fake. I'm not sure about this one.
Oh no, my friend. This was done on a little bit of a expedition from. We have somebody who goes out and procures these items for us. Our boss, you see, named Charm, talks directly to Bavlona, and they worked out a system and was able to roam various lands around Prismere. And there was a unicorn that was just recently slain, and didn't want the wares to go to waste, and procured the horn for a special person as yourself.
Not slain by your boss, was it?
Oh, no, never. Slaying a unicorn in the Feywild is a very, very bad thing. No,
Then
never.
why would we want an item of an animal that has been slain if it's illegal to do so?
And
Do you
so
mean
its
to
horn
give
is not
Princess
found?
Moss here illegal goods? Shame on you. And I look at
No.
Grumble and be like, do you mean you let this happen in your kingdom?
No. It's very hard to come by unicorn horns, and no one knows when mine might come in handy. This one recently found its way into our possession, and it's not fake, it's the real deal. These things are very, very rare and hard to come by.
If this is contraband.
No, we would never. No, Grumble is like, these darklings, charm, trinket pop, they know what they're doing. They would never sell any illegal items. If they did, their heads would be on spikes along with the former kings. Gollop would see to it.
Wonderful, thank you, Grumble.
How much?
Princess Moss. How much?
Ebby asked how much it is.
Well, this item, especially the moonlight goggles, which was a very fancy item, and the unicorn horn, you can't put a price on something that rare, but we'll try. All right, well, for the moonlight goggles, a simple thing, really, as Trinket's kind of conversing you. They're now like on top of the front desk. All that I would need simply is the color of one of your eyes.
For both items?
Oh no, that would be for the goggles. Just the color.
You said the color of one of your eyes?
Correct, yes.
Would we
And Trinket goes into his pocket and produces a small marble from their pocket. And says, I just say the words, put this close to your eyes, and it'll drain the color from your iris and put into this marble for safekeeping.
Will that affect my vision any further? As you all have heard, I have rather poor vision.
Oh, no, my good sir. No. You will be able to see perfect vision. It's just your eye color will be a bit transparent is all.
Transparent?
Yes.
So there will be no color left, no gray, no anything.
That is a costly price for an item. I can't even imagine how much costlier it would be for this.
Well,
Is Lucifer
for the...
able? Is Lucifer able to use thaumaturgy to give them a false color?
Well, the thing is, they have a marble to like take it. They'll know that if it's work because of the marble.
Got it. Okay, continue.
And all the for the unicorn horn, is a very rare item. Doesn't come by very often. We would ask kindly for one of your rhythm.
Come again.
And he reaches down as Bobble hands them this wooden marionette and plops it down beside them. It's like, yes, your rhythm, the ability to keep a beat and dance a step, it's just a simple, trivial thing that you'll probably never miss. I mean, who likes dancing that much anyway?
What value does the unicorn horn give us then?
Because rhythm will affect your fighting.
Rhythm affects many things.
Oh, no, my friend. Instinct will keep you clear and ready to battle at a moment's notice. This is just to, keep a rhythm to the beat of music kind of thing. But,
I'm a little slow on the upkeep there. I just really got it. I hate it here. I hate it here.
Anyways.
I don't think anyone fares to give up all rhythm of any sort for this unicorn horn.
But we don't even know what it does, Lucifer. It could be a fake again.
Can Eddie do
you're welcome. A history check, or are you trying to?
Or because being part of nature and stuff, understanding those things, could he do a check for that to see?
Do a nature check for that one.
Okay. I'm probably not gonna get it, but 13. But I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Okay. What was the total there?
17.
Nice.
17. Nice. So, yeah, looking at this, Abby, you kind of pick it up and inspect it and look it up and down, and you know that unicorns are insanely powerful beasts and beings. The magic of the Feywild just exudes through them, and you've even seen a couple in your time, and you look at this horn and it is the real deal. It is legit, a real unicorn horn. You've never really had one in your possession per se. The effects or benefits of what a unicorn horn could do is a little bit past you, but you do know they're very magical and have a lot of properties to them.
Okay. Do I know any of those properties at all, or just that's
Not particularly, no.
Okay. So Abby, as he's holding it in his hands, he does get a little bit more sad knowing that it's been removed from such a beautiful creature, and then he places it back down. And he just looks back at the group, like, "This is absolutely real. Everything about it is just exuberating, elegant power."
While power is nice, as one of Milady Princess Moss's bodyguards, I cannot sacrifice my rhythm at this time.
Oh, all right.
The goggles, however, do they help you see in pitch black?
They help you see in the dark.
How much do they help you see?
See, you could probably see about, well, you know what? Try it on.
It is daylight outside. Would it do anything right now?
Does Lucifer put it on?
Lucifer's working on opening his previous monocles. No, it's just the tint of blue because it's daytime.
You put it on, and there's just like putting on night vision goggles. Just the streak of white just enters your eye. Like, ah! And the Trinket's like, I'm sorry, I just like fooling you. Now, depends. Are you usually pretty good at seeing in the dark? Do you have dark vision? Is what he's asking.
I do. I am good at, but Ebby has stated that my vision is quite terrible, so I need to continue.
So basically, it'll tell you that if you have dark vision, you can already see about 60 feet in dark fairly well. This elongates that by double, so you'll be able to see another 60 feet.
120 feet in the dark. Pretty good.
How many more episodes do we have?
A bit.
Yeah, good way to go.
And so I don't lose any vision in either eye that I give the color from, because I love my gold eyes.
Not at all, my friend, not at all. It's just the color around the iris, just for me and Charm and Bobble here to procure. You'll have perfect vision. No harm will come to you.
All right. I'll give the color of my left eye.
We need both eyes.
You said one eye, if I was not mistaken.
No, but
One of your eyes.
the color from both eyes, my friend.
Too much for a monocle. If it was glasses, then I would say 2 eyes, but no. Monocle, 1 eye.
You see, I've heard monocle, which I also thought was one eye. Then I've also heard moonlight goggles. So I'm hearing a bunch of different information.
There is moonlight monocle is the item. Its effects are that of goggles of night.
Oh.
If I did.
So the one eye previous statement was incorrect. It was both eyes.
Yes.
Well, if it's from both my eyes, then no. If it's from one, I would have said yes. Both cannot do it.
And I would say simply no to the rhythm.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh. I have a 16, 12, 15, 12 plus 3.
Okay. So you see that you're being kind of strong-armed here. You're like, You're changing your story. You said one eye, now it's two. One eye, and we're good. And the Darkling looks up to you and goes, oh, okay, all right, fine. For royalty, for a guest of King Gullif, for one eye. Just the one.
Just my left eye.
Correct, my friend.
You have a deal.
Okay. Come here, my red-skinned friend. Come closer. Okay.
Can I go with him and put my paw over his right eye just to make sure they don't get both of them?
Whatever makes you feel safer, my friend.
This does.
You do that. Oh no! You drop Clapperclaw.
Oh, sorry. Wait, why can't he like pinch onto like my clothes and like dangle?
Sure. I'm gonna roll an attack. If it hits, he's going to clip off your shirt.
He has sharp claws.
What's your AC?
It's 15.
Finally.
Oh god damn it! My tits are out.
So you're holding Clapperclaw, and the bee is coming towards you like, I'll make sure you don't get the one eye. No, I'll make sure you don't get the other eye, Lucy. It's okay. Oh no! Kind of like falls off and tries to clap onto your shirt here. Just cuts it in two. Then your front of your shirt just falls down. All goes, oh my lord! Everyone, look away! Look away! Look away! The Darkling with the marble is just.
This is an eyeful.
Hurry up!
I didn't know they were furry in there as well. Okay. As Moth has the shirt kind of covered up here, you pick up Clapperclaw and just put Clapperclaw like in front of you. Trinket, you might have to get those clothes figured out quicker than later, okay? Bobble. As Trinket puts the marble to your eye, Lucifer, and utters the phrase, "You be mine," and puts the marble like fairly close to your eyeball, and the rest of you just see Lucy's golden iris just start to spin around, and then this golden string leaves the iris and starts to get transferred into the dark marble, and fairly soon the goldness of Lucy's right eye starts to disappear.
Left
eye. Sorry, I'm looking at you.
No, it's okay. I've got my camera mirror. Dude.
The left eye, as the gold iris starts to sink its way into the marble, it becomes like a fairly bright golden marble. There you go, friend. Transaction done. Enjoy your monocle there. Do we have those clothes coming? And Bubble comes out with like a fairly good stack of clothes for you and your party. Yeah, here you go. There's one for you there, one for you, and just like gives you basically the same sort of adornment that your bullywog friends are wearing, with the frumpled neck piece, the billowing royal adornments with the gold and blue treatment, with the white billowed sleeves and the sort of billowed pants that taper off under the knee and become skinny on the shins, with a sort of a white guard for the shins and the bottom of your shoes. So you all have the royal treatments. And for Moss, they didn't really have like a queen's gown sort of ready, so they kind of have like the similar outfits that your bullywog friends are wearing, except they were able to like kind of stitch and taper together like a skirt sort of made with straw and other materials that like kind of made a shirt, like just stitched it up in the side there. So you have yourself this sort of straw hand woven dress piece at the bottom, but like the sort of a tighter blue and gold striped shirt with the frock underneath or over top.
You said these are considered the goggles of night, right?
The monocle, yes.
So I can add those to my.
Yeah. All right, there you go. You can change to the back room here, and we'll just wait out here. Yeah, we'll wait outside for you, my friends, and we'll go and let King Gullop know that we're about to arrive.
Am I able to change in that cell that we passed?
You asking me or them?
Oh, I am quite afraid of getting wet in this, in the river. Am I able to change in that sturdy hut over there on land?
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh, persuasion. That's a 14.
Oh, well, if this shop is not satisfactory for you, my dear, I think some of the guards can escort you over there, and it is a holding cell, you see. Some of the prisoners of the Soggy Court are currently in there, so you wouldn't be necessarily private. There would be people peeking up on you, so I don't know if it's the best situation, but our guards here can take out any prisoners inside and leave the place all to you for yourself, if you like.
I shall have one of my guards, either Quincy or Lucifer, stare down the prisoners to make sure that they do not see me in an indecent fashion.
Lucifer, if you want to do this, because I want to talk to Bubble.
Happy to help.
It's a very peculiar request, but if that's what the princess desires, then we can accommodate that for sure.
Thank you.
Guards, go follow them over to the holding cells. Make sure our prisoner is well looked after. And the four of you sort of leave Trinket and Bobble's shop and go over to that holding cell.
Okay.
With Abby and Quincy still inside.
Yeah, while inside, I want to let Lucifer know that I want to talk to this prisoner and see if they had anything to do with Tevlar?
Tevlar?
Yes.
Mhm.
I want insight as to why they're in there. I will actually change, but no peeking.
And while they're in there, I want to discuss more on the unicorn and rhythm and payment.
Yeah, definitely not worth it.
Okay, so Grumple stays in the shop with you, sends two of the guards over with Lucifer and Moss over to the holding cell, leaving Quincy and Ebby in the shop. We'll start with you guys first, with Quincy and Ebby.
I'll do it.
Yeah, not enough.
You said this is a real unicorn horn.
It's a real unicorn horn, but not something worth of your own personal self.
You done changing, madame?
Yep, I'm good.
I feel like it could be very... I don't know what it is about it, but I feel like we should take it.
Abby walks up closer to Quincy and passionately be like, get a different price.
What do you think we can offer?
Ask them, see what they get, and make it lower. I don't know if that's how it works. I just see what just happened now, and clearly this thing means that they're able to do something with their prices. That's all my understanding of this one.
True, you're not wrong.
Exchange for singing instead?
No, I was thinking it's much more valuable.
Are Lucifer and Moss with these two while they're having this
Lucifer and Moss
conversation?
have left the shop. You're now walking on your way to the holding cell, so this conversation is just with them.
Right.
Abby doesn't know, is not able to fully read on Quincy's emotions at the moment, so he just tries. So Abby's trying to explain that if you like flair with your guns, you won't have that anymore.
What else do you want for the unicorn horn? What others things do you have of value, or would you like?
Oh, well, usually around here, things of a personal nature and a personal value are give you the most gain in these parts. If you're not willing to part with your rhythm, what are you willing to part with? Singing voice, perhaps?
What about a year of memory?
Year of memory.
But I get to choose which year.
Is it a favorable memory?
It'd be one I wouldn't mind forgetting. But the value in the right hands, which I'm sure you know none of these people involved, would be incredibly valuable.
Does this memory have a very strong emotional ties to it?
Very strong negative emotions.
Ooh, negative emotion.
But
Positive
with
emotions.
feelings, positive emotions are strong. Close to the end of that year was freedom.
Oh, a powerful day to them all, you might say. Oh, I do like that. A bit of a roller coaster ride of a memory could go for some 50 prices. Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Are you sure?
I'll tell you about it later. 17.
Today is not my day.
Oh! How many is that? 5, 6?
5 or 6 already. We need to get like a nat 1 counter on this Twitch somewhere.
That
Just
would
like
be-
bam, bam. Fudge. Okay. Looks at you and Bob will get the gold. As Bob will makes his way to the back room of the shop here, through the door, comes back with a very discolored, sort of rotten-looking gourd. Here you go, drink it. Thank you, Bob. You sure? Once you make this transaction, that's that.
Would you be willing to give me a tour of your balloon for also this? Just a tour. Because I'm very intrigued. Could learn something from wise inventors.
Sure. Why not?
Sure.
Abby stands back and just is peering at everything they do with the gourd.
And I'm going to give them the memory of my 8th year.
Okay. Of your 8th year, as you concentrate on this memory, thinking about that day, living through every experience you can, you just see Quincy kind of just close their eyes for a minute as they're just picturing this moment happen. And every detail, the ups, the downs, the struggling, the all of the agony that led up to a momentous and beautiful bit of freedom at the end. And once you see Quincy kind of going through those emotions, it gets to the very end of that euphoric moment, and that sort of big deep sigh letting go, you see the streak of air come out of their mouth, almost mist-like, ghost-like even, as it just gets sucked into the gourd. You can see Quincy's skin go a little bit faint, almost a pale hue to what they're normally used to, as the memory leaves their body, and you can see Quincy's head kind of be stringing along, almost like when Dementors suck the soul out of you, the last bit of memory just seeping out, this little shining ball emitting at the end of it as it leaves your mouth and trails around that sort of ghost-like wind into the gourd. That happens, yeah. Pleasure doing business with you, my friend. The horn is yours.
I'll take the horn. Kind of just hold on to it.
Oh, that was a good one. A very palpable smell to it. goes into the back, gives the gourd over to Bobble. So, a tour, is it?
Lead the way.
Right over here. And as Trinket kind of leads you outside the shop, we'll cut over to Moss and to Lucy going over to the holding cell over here. So as you are in there, you sort of go to the entranceway as the guards are like, just 1 second here, please. We're gonna just take hold of the prisoner, lead them out so they won't have prying eyes, and everything should be fine. Oh, you're muted there, Moss.
You don't have to. Thank you. I will have one of my guards posted inside to make sure that they do not peep. It'll only take a moment.
You're sure you're comfortable with this?
You all just saw my tits. I'm fine.
Well, I didn't. I looked away at time, you know.
Quite the gentleman. Now leave us be.
Okay, we'll just be standing outside here if you need us.
Thank
Hey! One of the bullywogs just like knock on the entrance of the wooded structure so the prisoner inside can hear them. You hear that, Morgort? Keep your eyes away. Look away. Royalty is coming in to change to meet with King Gollop. All right, should be fine. Just watch yourself and my redskin friend.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, as you enter into the cell, into the holding cells, same thing. You notice that the sturdy one's hut, as you go into the open doorway, you notice the two holding cells inside and the thick mangrove roots that serve as bars kind of stretching down from the ground and reaching up to the top of the roof here. There's a small round door closing off each cell. And the floor of one cell is covered with several inches of stinking water. So as soon as you go in, it's just this strong, rotten egg sulfur smell that's kind of hard to get used to, but this is the plan and you're sticking to it. The other cell holds a figure in rags, slumped against the back wall. The hut is 12 feet in diameter with a conical thatched roof that rises 18 feet from the floor at its apex. And this figure is still kind of just in the shadows of their holding cell, just slumped up against the wall as you enter in with Lucy here.
Want to talk to them while I change?
I'm on it right now.
Yep.
Hello, gentle things. What brings you in today? Terrible joke, I understand, but...
Are you talking to me, friend?
Yes, of course.
I'm fine.
What has you shackled in this lovely place?
None of your business.
Hmm. Say hypothetically, would you say that you were brought in here for a good reason or for not a good reason?
Are you new to the Soggy Court? I've never seen you in here before. Or around these parts. You're obviously not Bullywog.
I most certainly am not. All I am asking, though, is if you feel you are in here justly or unjustly, because your answer might determine, I don't know, an offering maybe.
I stayed true to my honor.
As you should.
And that's what has me inside here today. So, if you don't mind, I'd rather get some rest and await whatever fate has.
What would you say, however, there was a special group, not from here, as you have stated, that perhaps could help you avoid that entirely.
Make a persuasion check.
It fell off my desk. I should have let it roll off my desk.
What'd you get?
It's 5.
Oh,
Why do you want to know? Are you one of King Golub's many spies trying to get more information from my journey into here?
Looks around. Quite the opposite.
It
Moss.
just seems kind of disinterested.
Can Moss, as she's changing, like kick over the gourd that she had that belonged to the Herringon?
Rolling over as you're kind of getting the kind of corset part of this makeshift dress that they've kind of made sort of haphazardly with your ruffled neck piece on and this kind of makeshift corset. As you're kind of putting on the corset on, you just kick the gourd over and the figure in the prison sees it. Looks like you dropped something.
Do you recognize this at all?
What any importance to you?
And the figure kind of slumps out of the shadows from the prison cell and kind of walks forward. And you see a fairly tall and sturdy female bullywog, but just in like sort of not prison wear necessarily, but just like dirty, disheveled clothing, like just a cotton billowy shirt with like brown pants that kind of taper off past the knees, not wearing any socks or shoes of any kind, just their green feet kind of smushing in the ground. Their clothes are dirty, disheveled, ripped in some places, a couple bruises on parts of their body. And she has bright purple irises around her very, very like bulbous frog-like eyes with very long lashes at the top of them. And their skin is more akin to like a poison dart frog. Has more of like a purpley skin-like tone with various colorful ringed spots around their frog-like body. And as they look into it, they grab the mangrove roots. God, is that where'd you get that from?
We'll answer that if you answer for us. What's its importance to you?
Well, I've heard they're very delicious. I've heard you can fry them up in various ways and cut them into stews.
You know, interestingly enough, I first thought you were speaking of the gourd itself, but no, you are quite right as to where we received it from. This cell does not look like it is the most fun place to be, and as I mentioned earlier, we're not working for anyone, and if you've stuck by your honor and have ended up here, it seems like you align a little bit more with us than your imprisoners.
Oh, and you're honorable folks. Honorable folks who are here to make deals with King Golub. I find that very hard to believe.
Deals are not what we're here to make.
Then why the hell are you here then? You're here to just bore me to death, to drone on and on, to make my prison a living hell? Because quite frankly, it's getting worse and worse by the day.
What is your thought on Zybilna?
And you just see Morgort, just kind of look down at the thought of Zybilna. Zybilna was a great leader, a fantastic warrior, and the true leader of Prismia.
I lean in towards the cell. And if I were to tell you that we're working to make that happen once again, Would you be a little bit more interested in our conversation?
Make a persuasion check again.
Come on, dice.
Does Moss have anything to say on that as well?
Stop rolling off the desk.
Or is Moss just kind of like looking and just kind of sussing out the situation?
Moss, like, I'm worried that with me closest to the door, whatever I say could be heard within earshot of the guards. So.
It was a 6.
Well, everything that Lucifer is saying has that same ability. It's not a huge holding cell. It's fairly tight together.
Okay. Well then, I'll walk over, all partially dressed, and I'll lean in and say, "We are from the material plane. We were hired to find Zybilna, and currently we are on our way to meet and defeat Bavlona. But first, we must make it past this obstacle of the Bullywug King."
Make a persuasion check as well. What was yours, Lucy?
A 6.
6.
Good Lord, please.
Yeah, this female Bullywug is just like not digging you at all. She's just very suspect and thinks that you're lying, and is just like got off on a wrong start.
Okay.
Kind of think of oh no, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank. The woman knight from Game of Thrones. The tall, badass
I know
one.
exactly who you're talking about.
Right? I'm drawing a
Brianna
blank.
Tarth.
Right.
Tarth.
This is very much a Brienne of Tarth kind of vibe going on here.
Okay, well, I rolled an 18 on the dice and a persuasion plus 3, 21.
So you pop up and just kind of get to the cut of it. Like, we're here to free Zybilna. We've come here. We're here to free Prismir from the clutches of the Hourglass Coven.
What she said.
And Morgort just kind of looks over at Lucy and looks at you. Wait, are you serious?
Of course, Sir Tevlar, he's now free because of us. He's on his way to the spring.
Wait. Did you say Tevlar?
Hmm?
Yes, he is free. We have, in all good faith, if you need it, one of our other companions has his dagger.
Wait. You found Sir Tevlar.
And
He
he's
escaped?
free from the cage. Yes, we did
my
that.
God, thank
Yes,
God.
we are. I show her Jingle Jangle's
Key.
thing.
Key mates?
Thing. Yes.
Oh,
We visited Jingle Jangle, got the key. He is free. He's on his way to his lovely lover queen. We're on your
oh
side.
my God. Okay, well, that means... Oh, my, you must have seen the weather balloon. They escaped.
Yes.
Oh, they escaped Babylona. Did you find Wigglewog as well? Was he with them? Did he escape too?
I'm so sorry, but no, he did not. He did not make it. I'm so sorry.
And you see Morgort just like go down a shade in their skin.
My condolences for your loss, but it was for the greater good, and the sacrifice will not be in vain. I can promise you that.
Okay, damn it! And she just like kicks the ground and just like punches the mangrove root as the root kind of like cracks to one side. Just gets frustrated and is just like so sullen and pissed off. And
It's just like, also, we need to keep it down because there's guards right outside.
How can we get you out of here? We already have seeds sown throughout the community. Things are in motion.
Okay, you're gonna need to get out of Downfall then. And, the balloons. They have gas weather balloons here. We could try and steal one of the balloons. And where were you going next?
We thought Bavlona was here.
She is here.
Where?
Through the mists out into the north side of where we are. It's a bit hard to get to without a guide, but if we had a weather balloon, we could get on top of the mist and see the cottage. That's where she lives.
The garden or the cottage?
The cottage. Bavlona's a bit of a recluse. She rarely leaves her cottage. But if we can find it, that's where she is. Are you meeting with King Gollop?
I might be fake betrothed to him?
Wait, Wait, what?
As you asked, we're not spies for anyone, but we're trying to make the best of our situation.
King, okay, listen to me, okay? King Gollop will not be king for long, not as long as I have breath in these lungs. There is a coup that is on the rise. There is a resistance to his rule, and I, one of the key central figures in the uprising. As long as there are people who believe that Sibilna is around, there will be those that will fight and usurp him. If you are meeting with him, if this is true, he will try to twist the situation in his favor. He is worried at every second of the day that Bavlorna will put him on the chopping block next, and is always looking for a way to get on Bavlorna's good side, and we're trying to be betrothed to him, some kind of queen-like figure.
It was the only thing we could think of to get into the community.
Right, well, as far as lies go, that's pretty good. But look, there will be I promise you, there will be some kind of altercation. There will be some kind of conversation had. He will try to get you to go to Bavlorna as recompense for his slights. The fact that me and Woolywog were able to get Tavlor out of Bavlorna's clutches, she is not very happy about this, and is probably very, very angry at King Gollop for letting this happen, because it was their swamp balloons that was taken. So, there's two ways this can happen. One, you will go to Bavlorna by way of King Gollop, or we can go there unencumbered, go on our own route by taking one of the swamp balloons. I am not going to be in this prison for long. I'm probably going to have to fight for my freedom by trial by combat any second now. So I will not be here for much longer.
Lucy looks over to Moss. I like option 2, and then looks back to Morgort. Speaking of trial of combat, is there a certain weakness that would be helpful to take advantage of if combat breaks out?
I'm not sure that whoever's gonna be in that ring with me better have another thing coming, because I don't have a weakness, my boy. I am fire, I am pure rage, and I will break down anyone that comes in my way in the usurpation of King Gollop. Do you understand? And they're just like crunching the mangrove roots as they're just hyping themselves up talking to you.
Is there anything we can do to get them out of this cell? It seems as though the mangrove bars regenerate. So
they don't seem to be regenerating.
Because
do I have Clever Claw?
They punched the mangrove and it bent. So unless they have more strength than I do.
Clever Claw! Are you here?
He's not in there with you.
Under my skirt? Oh, damn it.
He's outside with the guards.
But
You just kind of hear out the distance.
So I used to have this other head, you see, and it was a stag's head, nice polished skull with big antlers, you see, but then Achaidh took it from me, and then...
So, Elusive has his hand axes with him. Not that he should swing them, but maybe just,
Am I able... okay. Morgart, do you have names? Anyone else that we can talk to while we're here to help get this coup starting faster?
Just like, you hear the guards outside. Is everything going right in there?
Yes, quite fine, quite right. We're having a little bit of a tough time with the corset, but we'll be right out.
I hate corsets! Are you sure this is the top fashion?
They get stuck in her first, you see.
Both of you make deception checks.
Thank God.
You tell I'm confident. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. Oh.
Remember, you do have your inspirations.
I don't have inspiration.
From chat. Sometimes chat will gift you guys a D4 of
18.
inspiration.
I think Lucy has one, but I don't. I got 16.
18.
This is a 13 on the dice.
The guards just reply, all right, well, we don't want to keep King Gullop waiting, so hurry it up if you can.
Yes.
Morgort just looks at you and goes, okay, so look, listen, these bars, they're ingrained in the ground. You can't simply cut them. You have to pull them out by the root. It's very, very hard to do, but you could do it. There's also a lock over there, and you see a little pin lock like etched into one of the mangrove roots. Be able to pick that? That might be to help. But time is not on our side, so I will just say, if you're in the court of King Gullop, in his personal effect, in his personal court, just one of you, just shout out, man, I really could use a drink. Just say that, and somebody should approach you.
Got it.
Mention that you saw me in here before you say it. That's very, very important.
Out loud?
Yes, out loud.
We've seen you, and then we say the thing.
That you've seen me, say my name, then shout out, boy, I could really use a beverage, a drink.
Boy, not man.
What's that? Just ask for a drink. I don't know the proper etiquette.
Fantastic. I wanted to make sure I had man the first time. Nope, we got it.
Before we leave, can I try to pick the lock with my thieves' tools?
You can certainly try.
Okay, what would that be? Is that a hand?
That will be a dexterity check. Light a hand.
Dexterity. It's okay, I can do that. Come on, monk. Let's go.
Dexterity check?
Yeah. So just roll the d20 and check your dexterity.
That's a 9.
So you take out your thieves' tools that you've kind
It's not a difficult lock.
hidden amongst your other effects and your clothes from your changing, and maybe I could unlock it. I take out your thieves' tools and start to pick around, but the lock itself is kind of old and rusty and partially like ingrained into the mangrove roots, and part of it has started to cover itself and get one of the roots inside of there, and it's just mushy and it's just not working.
Okay.
Can Lucy go to like casually lean against the bars, put both of his hands behind him on one of the mangrove roots, try to like just stand up and pull, and just to see how hard it is to pull the root out of the ground?
Make an athletics check.
Oh, please. Okay, 18 plus 5.
Ooh.
23.
Kind of casually like, we'll be there in a second, and Moss is like, it's not working, I can't do it. He's kind of lean up against the mangrove roots, take your two hands, and that orange fiery glow starts to take hold in your one good eye. You start lifting the roots out of the ground, and you are ripping them out and causing a hole. Oh shit! Okay. Morg grabs out in the dirt in the corner of the prison cell this sort of murky orange coat, sort of stained remnants of an orange surcoat that bears a sigil of a great helm fashioned to resemble a frog's head. They grab that before they get out. Morg gets out from underneath the cell as you just rip those roots out. Okay. What the fuck do we do now?
Stay here until we've walked the gods away.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Hide.
Lead the way. Hide where? I just got out of the cell. What do you mean hide? Where am I supposed to go?
Shadows. We're gonna. I don't know.
Okay. What? Everything all right in there?
Yes, quite right. The princess is looking almost perfect for the king. Would you like to go ahead and let him know that we are on the way?
And as you now have Morgort outside of the cell, the roots of the prison bars now ripped out of the ground are kind of laying there, not attached to the ground, and sullied over on the grounds of the prison cell. It's here, everyone, that we gotta end the stream. Woo! We're going a little over time there, but I just wanted to make sure we ended on a good note. Holy shit, you released Morgort. All right. Hey, look at that. You're about to get married to a royal bullywog and join the Soggy courts, betrothed to the Frog King himself. All good.
Litter of bully backs.
All around, you got yourself a unicorn horn, a moonlight monocle. What a session, everybody.
I got my bow.
Yeah.
You got your bow, double-bladed bow, laid Achaidh Longscarf to rest, said temporary goodbye to Bubba, but now you've got a new friend, Clapperclaw, as a new little companion. Lots of stuff went down this session. Thank you all so much for watching us tonight. I hope you had a splendid evening. Thank you to these creators once again for joining me tonight. I hope you all had a great time. Thank you all so much, as always, for watching us here on Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Join us next week for Beyond the Realms, my homebrew campaign that's in its final arc. We are sad to see this story slowly coming to its conclusion, but it has been an amazing run. We stream that every Monday, 5 p.m. at PST, 8 p.m. EST. Hope you will come and join us. Thank you to our sponsors, Crit Kit, C4 Labs. If you want to get your hands on these awesome heart trays, check out the Instagram giveaway on my channel. All the details are there. But until next time, everybody, stay safe, wash your hands, have a good week. Bye-bye.
Bye.